Well, good morning. Good morning. Looky here. All you early risers, good morning. But to tell you, I'm like half awake, so, you know, deal with me a little bit, but it is so good to see all of you. Hey, SS, go Bulldogs, Captain Ganja, JD, Eric, Heather Dawn, Scooter McBooters, you made it. Hey, Gina S. Did I say hi to Eric? I don't even know. Twisted Isabel, you made it as well. I actually made it so early live. I hope you're having an amazing morning so far. Thank you. I am just waking up. Hey, Gina, just Samantha, Seeker, JD. Oh, you guys were in here chatting it up. How's everybody doing today? Cheryl, good morning. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Hey, darling Tammy. Karen Fan, butter. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Christy A, Kimmy, Petty AF, Emerald Skies, KT, Chopper. So does Betty have a warrant yet, right? Hey, Natalie, Polish, Mrs. Fletcher, Billy Sunday, Teresa, Kim. I'm so happy so many of you are here this morning. I haven't been live lately, soaking in the last few days of summer and just soaking in everything that's been happening. Hey, Sherry, Pretty in Pink, Larry, Pam. Good morning from Memphis. Hey, Cubs 23, Diana R, Kimberly Joe. Tuning in with one eye open. Miss Liverbird, Barbara. Good morning, SS. Just Robin, Doohickey. I'm Bernie. Good morning, Shauna. So good to see everybody. Hey, Lady Tara. Morning from Canada. Yeah, I know. What do you think, Steve? You don't think his recent findings with the doctor will have an impact? I don't. I don't know. It that doctor didn't sound like he knew too much. Like he wouldn't just straight out say he does have. He said he has signs of. Hey, Bayu. Yup, Ernie went. Betty went. What a week. Hey, Poetic Justice. Stassi, good morning, Renee. Trampoline Memorial. That cracked me up. I mean, honestly, jokes aside, he was pretty upset by it, but listen, what can you do? It had a big hole in it. Not a big, it had a hole in it, then another hole. It became a danger, you know what I mean? So yeah, he was tripping with that whole little memorial. Angel Chips, he said, "What's next? Are you gonna get rid of me? Is Nellie gonna get too old and she's next too? How far are you willing to go?" I'm like, bro, it was a metal. Sorry. He gave me the most dramatic lecture of my life. I mean, he had me sitting there contemplating life, like, what did I do? Hey, Kel, I can see you. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna have to go get like one of those like markers and like give him like you know, a really nice memorial site to make up for my sins. Oh, bless it. Oh my gosh. All right. My son is 8. I think he do something similar. Define, good morning. He does, Lori. He does. Oh, he's a funny kid. Are you nuts? Good morning. Ministry of Defense. Oh, is it Jesse as well? With so many named the same, say you say my name here as JD. So I don't see Jesse in that. Is it too early for me? Because I do see JD. So just say Jesse, not say JD. Thank you for telling me. There's a lot of names I know I say wrong. You guys never correct me. And I don't mind being corrected. I prefer some names I skip altogether because I just really can't say it. Hey, Colleen. And I don't want to disrespect and not say the name. It has been crazy, D. Connor, and I don't really like it. Angel Chips, Remy, they do. They no hold bars, right? Hey, we gob sheet, Thor, Shelly, number 74. Thank you. Incognito, potato. But I mean, you guys read that name. Doesn't it look like JD? I feel like it's a little early maybe, so I'm not seeing it. But okay, so I will call you Jesse. And I love the fact that your name is the same as mine. All the older folks call me Jesse. Renee, thank you so much. Hey, Souls. Good to see you. Rock a bit. My avatar made especially for you, Bullhorn Betty. Let's see. Yeah, Karma. Karma's real. That way no one gets confused on how many Jessies there are. Got it. Okay. Okay. Jess calls me different names. Yeah, because everybody's like, it's not Liverbird, it's Liverbird. TLC is me. So let's get this started with the number 75. Trish Green Eyes. I feel like it's been a while. How have you been? Fallon Tiffany, good to see you. KK's Way. There was a KK involved in it. Chris Watts, like whole YouTube debacle. Good morning, it's me, Amberly. Angelica, Shelby. I have to say good morning to all of you. I feel like I missed somebody. Hey, Julie's Crafton. They are. They are. You know me. I just shorten it like Miss L. Hey, Miss L. Kraken. There you are. Oh, you love Miss Liverbird and not Miss Granny. Okay. I actually set my alarm too. Let me tell you guys why. The mornings have gotten really crowded, right? And I try to be respectful because a lot of times creators will have like built up build up tensions between each other for the whole time slot thing. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that build up resentment because, people or creators are going live at the same time and this and that. So I've been thinking lately, is it better, since everybody is suddenly morning streamers, is it better if I go back to the afternoon? But then I'm worried because some of you are my morning crew, right? So will you be able to be my afternoon crew? I don't I'm like having a YouTube channel crisis right now, if you will. Hey, Tammy, Life Rewinded, Artist Creek. First one who really went after Shanann on here, Miss Mensa. Dogs are my alarm clock. Oh, man. Nobody told me that cats are, too. Hey, Sheila, good morning. Taylor was stitching. Going live, and they're not doing short lives. Right. Well, that's what, and some of them are like 8, 9 hours, 7, 8, 9 hours. I can't really compete. I love the lives this time. You like the morning? I'll have to make a poll, see what you guys think. If I were to be selfish, I say afternoons. However, I don't mind the mornings before work. I like that SS. You're good with either. Okay. And there's always replay crew, and shout out to the replay crew. Very much appreciate it. I'm the lady that sent you location on your prisoner break. Ah, that was you, Kelly. Oh, so good to see you. Do what's best for me. Mornings are good for you. They are. So do night, Renee. I'm an early to sleep type of person. Hey, Gen X. Hey, B Tim, Huntress, Linglands. I said hi to you, Nosy Dish. Build in, they will come. You're right. You're right. Personal Motive says, I don't need an alarm clock. I have a cat. Dude, that was my only regret. Well, I love my cat. I mean, Nellie is my baby. Even like being away from her, I'm like, oh my God, I miss her. I feel like I see her and stuff. It's weird. Anyway, I have my two regrets with Nellie is that she won't eat dry food and she's the most expensive wet food. And it's really, killing me, to be honest. And then the freaking waking me up in the mornings. How dare you? Got 3 orders. Does that count? I've got to find 3 loaves, very specific things, and get them shipped up the East Coast to the land of money and concrete. Spicy sugar. Da, 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 da. Patricia, good morning, Regina. To solve that problem, watch us on YouTube on your TV, then watch Granny on your iPad. Oh, that's actually really considerate of you. Thank you so much, Shorty. We'll figure it out, right, guys? We'll figure it out. I also kind of feel like, why am I missing out on time sleeping in? Well, you know what? Let me shut up. Because all summer I woke my ass up early, right? And I woke up early to be with all of you because you have to find a time frame that works. And nobody else was doing morning streams, so it worked out perfect for me. So I threw away a summer of being able to sleep in to be able to live stream. And now I've realized, it's not like I can sleep in now anyway, because now I have to do the whole back to school thing. Whatever. Moving forth. Enough with my woes. Hey, Titanium. Gypsy Trails, good morning. Gotta be, girl. Gotta be early. Nobody did mornings before Titanium. Nobody, I know. I know. Hey, Bluebird, Pine Needle, Desiree. I love my 2-year-old orange kitty. He's the same. Only eats wet food and wakes me up every few hours. Never met a cat that woke me up to eat. Yes, it's truly something. Because a lot of them were just going to bed when you were waking up to start the day. Yeah, that may be it. Not sure if anyone else's chat moving in clumps. Is it messing up again? I like the morning streams as well. The rest just get the juice from your draw. Hey, Jane. Good morning. 6 cats. Oh my goodness. If you were on this early, you'll probably get more people listening. Yeah, there used to not be. Hey, Hindsight. Hey, Crimson Moon. I like it. It's time because my kids go to sleep just before you start. Oh, wow. Morning crying with coffee. I'm up at the crack of dawn every morning. Half sour. Thank you, Twisted, as well. It's good to see you. Hey, Limey. No, I know, but it's not about owning or anything. First off, it cuts your viewership. Second off, I don't want to have anybody thinking I'm like purpose. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, PJ, second chance. Hey, BB. It's just a respect thing, if I'm being honest. Well, thank you so much, Kathy Clock the House. I am. I hope you're doing well. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Hey, Jem. Hey, Andy. My fairy has me take my cat off dry food when you're fed when she was a year old because I can. Nellie will not eat anything else. She will go on a hunger strike. She will not eat anything else. Drives me crazy. Now they say like, oh, they'll eat it if they get hungry enough. Nah. Here we go. Beats him. And I only want to find out the FBI reward was posted for $50K. The police suspected what the FBI post a reward. Well, it definitely led me to believe there was a kidnap. And I think we're going to get all the way into that. Because it was just last week that we heard an entire rant about the police do not want us doing a reward fund. And now it makes me think that was as much of a lie as the fact that Joe Petito was threatened not to associate with Seth Rogers. We found out that, my friends, was a lie. As we know, the reason Joe Petito, Gabby Petito's father, the Gabby Petito Foundation, backed out from doing that live stream with Seth Rogers is because he found out about all the chaos and he didn't want part of it. Good morning, Lisa Lane, Slim Hauser. You know what, Slim, I can't disagree to be honest. I actually do kind of agree. I remember the morning slot fight. Not like I was throwing a tantrum. Yeah. It's kind of like but you know what, Captain Ivy, when you're kind of like written in as a certain time frame, like a lot of people knew like Grady was the morning, like coffee with Grady, like they knew, right? So when starts going live at that time, it does become a little insulting. I'm not gonna lie. Some of us start like I used to do 11:15 every day, and then other people started doing 11:15. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll do the morning. And now it seems like a lot of people are doing the morning. So like there's not, and I know it sounds petty because nobody owns a time slot, but at the same time, it is a bit disrespectful, especially if you're working with the same sector of subscribers. So I understand why people get upset, especially if that's something they've been used to doing. So I get it. Hey, Savannah. And I think a lot of people just brush it off as being petty because, well, they don't know because it's not them. But I could totally understand why somebody would be pretty upset by it, especially when like you've worked hard to maintain and keep that schedule. You were very committed to it, and all of a sudden there's a competition at that time frame. That's all. Did you hear Ernie got arrested, has no bond? I did, and I heard all about Ernie and showing his medications and a real messy of a thing, you know? Or the FBI, I should say. Ooh, the FBI. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the FBI put out this reward because they have an idea of what happened or they have no idea? Should we do a poll? Or we can do the good old fashioned drop a one. Drop a one if you think the FBI put out this reward on the 6-month date because they have an idea of what happened. and they have a feeling somebody else does as well. Or put it 2 if you think they have no idea and they're just hoping for an answer. Hey, Sarah Wood. That might be a titanium bill, but to be honest, a lot of us all repeat the same thing. And I I want to I want to make this very clear because I already see some comments in the chat. This has nothing to do with Queen Bee. I promise you it's not her. There's somebody else that never, ever, ever did morning streams ever. Queen's been going early because her kids, like she said, and when her kids are back in school, she plans on adjusting her schedule back. Um, whatever. So just make that very clear. Lots of ones. Wow. Okay. We got it 2. You don't think so? Oh, 2 of you don't think so. Okay. I'm curious to hear the thoughts because for me, I feel like they have an idea. And I'm with what B. Tim has super chatted, which thank you very much, B. Tim, where he says to him, it feels like they're kind of implying that a kidnap took place. There's a lot of 2s going on. And I couldn't help but go back to my mind where the fact that he did have unlimited and unfiltered access to the internet. And despite we were told differently, hey, Parody Patty, so good to see you. Hey, my pal. I just, it makes me wonder. And the one thing that keeps going back to my mind is we were lied about the internet access. Well, not always, but yeah, as of recently. I think the FBI has more information they don't want to release to the public, in my opinion. Dolly did have a heart attack. He is in the ICU. I saw people saying like really stupid things. Like, oh, he was live 13 hours ago. Now he's suddenly in the ICU. Okay. Like, you don't know how quickly things can happen. I don't care if you personally like Dolly, if you don't like him. I don't care. If you don't have anything polite to say, don't say anything at all. What are you sorry for, girl? You nailed it. If I'm being honest, Titanium, you got exactly why it was happening. Don't say sorry to me, sweetheart. Thank you. My problem is getting up early as I am on IHO time, so I miss so many of you. All right, we'll have to figure this out. Money talks. You think this money is going to make it talk? The ties to Clarksville was interesting. Right, let's look at the wording. Spicy sugar. Let's talk about it. Yeah, Artist Creek, I literally made it clear it's not about her, so we don't need explanations, respectfully. Oh gosh, I forgot to mute with the typing. Hold on. The wording was very, very interesting because the ties, right? Now we know he has ties, and let's just, because his father lived there, so he would have ties and whatever. But we were also told that Sebastian Rogers did not have any friends. He didn't have a social life, right? So it makes you wonder why they would even put that part in there. Could it be because whoever that's where the devices were going off at? That's where he was speaking to somebody. So one thing that I saw, and it drove me nuts. What drove me nuts is that people were not looking at this with an open mind. They were just sitting there going, "Yep, it had to be it." I had a heart attack at 27. My goodness, Miss Lee, I'm so good. Oh wow, so glad you're here. That is so young. Who's effing hilarious? Me? Thank you, SS. Appreciate that. Yeah, it happened to my mother in her 40s. Same thing. She actually had an entire blockage, and then she had 2 that were over like 75%. Where I'm at, it is 8 a.m. Forward to your show every morning. Start my day. Thank you so much, Carrie Moody. That means a lot. Honestly. Go live, not actually live in the ICU. My opinion, they see how these people are going in for the cash around Sebastian. May they expect one of the current players really greedy. Do I say it? Do I say it? I won't say it. Let's add up the clue that Ellie has given us. Yeah, let's add it up. Let's talk about it. Well, and we got to look at the fact it said up to 50K, right? Up to 50K. Yeah, is sad. The URL has the word kidnap in it. All right, let's check it out. Hold on. Hey, SoFlo Mama. Captain Lee. Let me, I'm moving forward in the chat. I apologize. All right. Let me get over to it. It does have the word kidnap in it. Good eye there. Hey, Aries Pork. Look at this. Up here in the URL. Can you guys see it? No, my big face is in the way. Hold on. Such a noob. I apologize. Look at the URL. You probably can. It's so small. Huh, okay. Control plus it. That doesn't help the URL. Control go back. All right. So that did not help at all. But in the URL, it does say fbi.gov/wanted/kidnap. It does say it. I've got to look and see if they classify all under kidnap. Good idea. Hey, London girl, Cubs. I appreciate that. Hey, Literally Davis. I said it. It has nothing to do with gaming. What makes you think it has nothing to do with gaming, if you don't mind? Do you want to elaborate on that? Why does it say he has ties to Clarksville? I believe because that's where Seth lives. So maybe just the fact that he would visit there, they assume he has ties. But from what we heard, he didn't really have much of a social life or friends or anything. So where would the ties come in? Hey, Pristine. Other than, well, let's talk about it. We also have the fact that there's that whole rumor about a neighbor that actually moved here from California, then moved back after he disappeared, right? Hey, Crystal. Hey, my friend Lori. You guys think he, I do as well. I think it has to do with an online predator. I think that they really do believe he was kidnapped. You just told me, Andy? Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry, I was on the other site. Do you want to tell me again, or you're going to make me scroll? Don't make me scroll for it. All right. So let's look at it. So the wording I found to be very interesting. I like that we were given a new photo. I think I'm going to assume that this photo came from Katie, which tells me that maybe Katie had an idea this was coming. Of course, I don't know this. And Ellie answers with the reward and flyer and states kidnap. That is interesting. What I couldn't believe is that Betty was taking credit, but we're going to get to all of that. Parents said he had no internet access, but being on a chess team, he is a critical thinker. Well, Pam, you're right. His mother and stepfather said that he had limited internet access and he wouldn't be able to speak to anybody. But Seth, his biological father, said he had internet access. Hey, Kashmir. Hey, Chris, my girl. All right. Mary Jane, thank you for becoming a member. Looks like an ID or a passport photo. Does it? I kind of figured it looked like a school photo, but maybe zoomed in, like cut just the top off. He had internet. He absolutely had internet. I think if this all goes back to Seth, not supervise him online, Katie will never forgive him. Yeah, I feel like the damage between those two is so far done, and it's unfortunate. Look at the top of the page. The FBI put Sebastian Rogers on the most wanted missing children page. Wow. Hey, Jennifer. Turtle, good morning. It's an adorable photo. He's a little bit younger in it, but it is an adorable photo. Kidnapping would explain. Well, that's a good point, Linda Cares. If they did think that it was a kidnapping and maybe they gave that little heads up to Chris and Katie, we think that he was kidnapped, I'd be afraid to stay in my home, especially with Chris, not being able to be there. There's more clues Ellie won't give Seth info. The device is kept, the not letting Seth know the announcements, and there's more. Well, the one thing I have to go back to is look what was happening in the Idaho 4. Everybody was out here doing their sleuthing. They knew who it was. Why don't the police know? We figured it out, blah, blah, blah. And all along, they had a suspect that nobody even suspected. They were doing the work, they weren't telling the people, right? How do we know or not know what the police are doing? And Captain, thank you so much for the super chat. There's just no way to there's no way to know. And I think people don't have enough patience. They just assume because we're not getting answers that they're not doing anything. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, if we go on over here and we're checking it out, of course, we have the usual. His birthday's December 7th. He's a Sagittarius like me. I'm December 2nd. His hair is blonde or brown, and I feel that because I get blind highlights in the summer. Eyes brown or hazel. Makes me a little bit sad that we don't have a solid answer, but he's 5'5", so he's literally my height and 120 pounds. He's about 5 pounds. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say he's about 5 pounds bigger than me, but I'm lying at my ass. He is not. Parody Patty, welcome back. Thank you so much. Oh, we're birthday twins. That's so awesome. Let's go, Brandon. So thank you so much, Parody Patty. So Sebastian's, he's my height. He's not a small. A lot of people almost refer to him like a baby, and I can't help but wonder, is that because we heard of the autism, so people are just ignorant? Is it because every photo we have of Sebastian seems to be when he is younger and not matching what he would look like today as a teenager? I'll tell you what, as somebody whose kids are now teenagers, and they don't really allow me to take photos, we have to force our kids. You have to, you force the smile, son. You force a smile because, if, gosh forbid, anything like this happened. Honestly, I kind of be in the same boat where most of my photos would be of when he was a little bit younger and he was a little more, 505. Thank you so much for the gifted membership. Thank you. Kathy, thank you so much. Good morning, Lady for Justice. New kid in town. Good morning, GW. My money is on Seth. Very interesting. All right. Has anyone ever heard of Midnight Productions? I have, but I'm not too sure what that means. They do. Even like, it was nice of Betty's little crew over there to make that poster board and they like signed their messages and all. But even the way they're written, it's like these people are speaking to a toddler, to a baby. He's not. Let's never forget, Katie said he was growing a mustache. Okay. Oh, that is so sweet of you, Elise. That is really nice of you. To get pics of my kids, I have to screenshot or social media. Right. I know. Believe me, I know. I watch the ID channel. Suspect usually wants law enforcement information. That's true. Hey, Jason. Good morning. Right, Kashmir. They get to an age where they don't want their photos taken. I look like I was in my early 20s at 15. I could buy beer with my full beard then. Wow. LNC Pickle. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to get into that, Crackings. Really, I have very little doubt in my mind. My 19-year-old son is autistic. He still has to be told to smile and pics. Yeah. It looked like Sebastian smiled a lot, It really did. What if they do have a suspect, but they're keeping the ace in the hole? I wouldn't doubt it. I just wouldn't doubt it, wishful thinking. All right. They had the opportunity to put a picture of Sebastian on there, and they put a picture of a dragon on their shirts and all the signs. All right. So, of course, 1 second. Let me grab my tea. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right. So, of course, 120 pounds. The FBI is offering a reward up to 50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Rogers has ties to Clarksville, Tennessee. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen February 26, 2024, 6 months ago, yesterday, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and black square framed glasses. Sebastian has a medical condition, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. So, one thing that stood out to me was they're still saying black sweatshirt, right? Now, I thought Katie came out and said it was not a sweatshirt, it was a black long sleeve shirt. And that makes a difference. So, I just, which one is it? Is it the black sweatshirt or a black long sleeve shirt? Because it does make a difference. If we're talking about, a lot of people have pointed out how the weather dropped, right? Excuse me. And with the weather dropping, if he was wearing a sweatshirt, that's a big difference than wearing a long sleeve shirt, right? Hey, Thomas, new kid in town. Welcome to the MFers. Thank you so much. Hey, Will, I was good to see you. It's been a while. We're getting there, KK's way. We are so getting there. They may not know, but you would think they would respectfully, Katie says she reached out to them several times to correct it. Didn't she say the weight was also wrong? It makes a big difference for me. It honestly does. Wishful thinking. Thank you so much for becoming a member. You guys are amazing. Great way to start off my day. Thank you so much for being so good to me. So, okay, of course, if you have any information concerning the whereabouts, please contact Sumner County. The phone number 615-451-3838. Or you can contact the Tennessee TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Now, what I find very interesting is the whole up to. Do you think they have? So I do, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, go Bulldogs, because Chris mentioned something about camera. He implied, in his cryptic way, that there were cameras inside the home. Well, I'll be honest, child. Sometimes I go to sleep in a sweatshirt. And Sebastian was at the age where he dressed himself. So it's not like Katie put him in a sweatshirt. I heard a creator say the other day, hey, Prefer Mom. I heard them make a comment about, oh, Katie was on the phone, so she didn't put Sebastian to bed. She didn't lay out his clothes and, go over his homework. And it's like, we're talking about a 15-year-old. I'm so tired of people referring to Sebastian as a toddler. How many of you have a child over the age of 12, hell, even maybe over the age of 10, and you don't do a bedtime you're no longer getting them in the bath, getting them out, putting them in their jammies, tucking them in. You're not laying out their clothes for the next day. You're not doing that with a teenager, especially a teenage boy. Who lays out clothes for a 15-year-old, Pam? It was one of the dumbest things I ever heard. And they said it was such like disgust. Like they were disgusted at the idea that Katie didn't do this. And I'm like, it's a little weirder if you do. I mean, a 15-year-old boy doesn't really want mommy picking out his clothes and dressing them. I mean, come on, it was weird. It's weird. Some of you people out here just say the weirdest things, I'll tell you. Hey, Jessie girl. That's why at first I said 12, and then I'm thinking, no, younger than that. We no longer do that. Micromanage is not me. Hey, Striker. With this shark, you know me, my friend. Somebody, it was Sane Outlaw, was dropping watermelons at me, and I was like, oh, look. Because you always see people do that. They'll go in the chat, like, that one TikToky person always has people in the chat dropping, their little symbol when she comes in. I'm like, well, where are you guys? You guys aren't coming in and representing. Where are you guys at? I'm just kidding, because I think it's disrespectful, if I'm being honest, but not disrespectful, but it's a little, kind of takes over a stream. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, we get it, right? Anyway, that was just a whole derail. I don't even know where that came from. Oh, I do, because the shark, the Striker. My son is 11, and he is not worth the fight. He looks real interesting some days at school. Well, yeah, you missed me, Cricket Day. I didn't go live yesterday. That's why. I apologize. Hey, Willow. Nina Drew. My thoughts on why Betty was mute last night. Oh, what was she? There he is. Thank you, Jason. Now, just anytime you see me in a chat, make sure you drop those watermelons, Jason, and we'll be good. They had interior cameras. He was shown leaving. I feel like that was implied, don't you? His twins at 11 has zero clue how to make a PBJ sandwich. Yeah, I believe it. Hey, Vibe. Jammers. Get your stuff ready for the next day yourself. I think so too. Say Sebastian didn't have the headset to talk. Can't they just use the pad on text? They can, but we did later hear, I believe, there's been so much, but I do believe we heard Seth say that he did have access to the internet. He did have a headset. Hey, Nico. Seth always referring to when Sebastian was a baby. Maybe that's why everybody's doing that. Break time 5. I sure don't. My teenage boys choose their own stuff, right? Hey, Green Eyed Monster. Trixie's Creations. Good morning. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jane. I'm so sorry. It was too busy yesterday. I thought I'd be able to, and I wasn't. When Elliot or Proudfoot say they have that video, though, not necessarily. Not if it's part of an investigation. Annabelle, my autistic 6-year-old nephew just started college and has a driver's license. Right. There's so many different levels that I think people need to stop relating autism to, you know, incapable, quite frankly. So I love this new photo we received. Again, Sebastian looks a little bit younger in it, but it does still give like his basic profile, right? Like we see the shape of his ears, his nose. It gives us a great idea of who and what he is, what he looks like. Just got to add a few years to it. He is a teen. Autism is part of us, not who we are. Thank you, Wishful. What a strong statement. Thank you. Hey, Seth the Welsh. Didn't they say they didn't have cameras? So, Karen Fan, they did. But I feel like Chris cryptically implied that they had a camera inside the home because there was time where Sebastian, between after school and Katie being done work, would be alone. Now, I don't know. He just implied it, which is part of my problem. I'll be honest. Part of my problem is that a lot of times Chris and Seth are being cryptic. We are talking about helping you find your child. We're not here to play clue games. We're not here to be told we're not asking the right questions. Either tell us what you know or tell us nothing. I'm not willing to play a little game of guess who with you. I think enough is enough at this point. Tell us what you have, what you know, or stop telling us anything. It leads to too much speculation, and then they complain about the speculation. It's like, well, what do you expect? Let's see. You know how people think that Katie's behavior is suspicious. What if she had a suspicion of what happened this whole time she's been working with? Well, I believe that could very well be the case. So I'm gonna bring you guys over to this. I found this very interesting, and I want you all to take a look at this. I have two things I find very interesting. I want you all to take a look at this with an open mind. All right. This was a brilliantly done, very well done video. Clear everything you think you know. Clear everything you know. Hey, Patricia, good morning. Money moves with the 218. Can we get it a little bit higher? Let's go.
The time stamp on the video is not working. It is stuck. She said, but you can tell because it's pitch black dark in the middle of the night when the car comes down the street, turns onto Stafford, sits there for about 3 to 5 minutes. The flashlights are coming from 2 different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves.
I'm going to pause you right there. Absolutely, Lady for Justice. I'm going to open it up in just a few minutes. So this is Bobby. We all remember neighbor Bobby. She hands out binoculars to all the neighbors, and they meet together and they keep an eye on the neighborhood. Hey, Lazy Wolf. Cameras inside the house because the investigation, right? And that's what leads me to believe there were cameras inside the house. They have something. I wouldn't doubt if we're a little close. So she gives all this description. Now, the one thing I did notice, and it was just right now, is all right. So if the car's here and the people are supposedly here, very long walks, not really matching up. You would think, if anything, this car would maybe be over here to get at whatever. I don't know. Let's carry on.
Up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's video is a big one. We're going to be breaking down the surveillance footage that was released early on in the Sebastian Rogers case. Now, I'm sure many of you have noticed before. And I've also got some interviews that also break down what allegedly happened that night. And in my opinion, after seeing this footage and what I'm about to break down and debunk, I believe this may have a connection to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. I do not think it's a coincidence that we have these strange lights and an unidentified vehicle.
Wait a minute here. Where'd that go? Where'd that go? Kit. The date has always been the 26th. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the date has always been the 26th, right? I believe Katie is innocent. I'm not sure about Seth and Chris. Mary Jane, I've been saying for a few weeks now. I hope this isn't the case, but I would not be surprised if we found out that Chris and Seth both, worked. I always thought it was the 26th because because it was the same day as Madeline's what? Okay. Madeline Soda was the 26th as well, and I just always put the two together. If we go by original Amber Alert, was it the 25th or 26th? I don't know. I just always thought it was the 26th because they thought it was after midnight. Right, Mia? I hope the typing's... I'm trying to be quiet. First, the Amber Alerts I'm coming up with say the 26th. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, everything I'm reading here says 26. But anyway, let's carry on with it. Last seen 25th. Reported missing 26. Right. Thank you, Teresa. I did too. Mr. Tomato Head, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Naomi. Hershey, did I say hi to you? Everybody, a lot of people, I get a lot of emails like, I can't stand your mouse. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You love the sound of the keyboard. Wow, I think you're the only one, Shorty. The morning of the 26th was when she went in to wake him up. The night of the 25th was last seen. There we go. Last confirmed sight in 25th. Thank you, beautiful. All right. Hey, Crafty Girl. Let's carry on with this. Bruin Howell, good morning.
For those that have not heard that before, the same night that Sebastian Rogers disappeared. So stay tuned. Please stay until the end, and thank you so much for watching.
About midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So this is Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood. And there is where the Rogers' Proudfoot home located here. And this is the house that has the surveillance camera located here.
Is it just me, or is his mouse kind of like, which house? Do it again, sir, because your mouse is kind of like which one? Tell us again.
And this is the house that has the surveillance camera located.
The circled house? Okay. All right.
Here.
All right, because the mouse was bouncing.
The camera points this direction.
All right. So this is where Sebastian would have been that night. This is his home. And he's saying this is the camera. And the camera would pick up this much area, right? Okay. This is what we believe, people believe to see in the video.
In footage, we can see multiple vehicles parked in the driveway.
But it's a little confusing, right? Because here, I guess they park differently, so never mind. Dang, they had money, huh? I'll tell you.
Now the vehicles are parked different from how they were in the footage.
Oh, thank you for answering.
So here's an example of how they were parked.
Okay.
Now in the footage there are multiple objects, so I'm going to break down each one. We can
Okay.
see this white outline of something on the bottom.
Where? Right
This
there?
is actually the driver's side window and trim from the white truck being...
Here's my thing, right? And I don't mean to be I really appreciate this guy's work. I'm not knocking it by any means. I think this was fabulously done. But how the hell do you get that to be a mirror? Honestly. I mean, this reminds me, all right, put a 1 in the chat if you were around for the Chris Watts case and days here on YouTube. Welcome, Cass Stewart. I appreciate you joining us. Was Seth was given info yesterday, hence why he wasn't at the protest and reward. Saw a video and he had very good proof of kidnap. Who had good proof? Cass Stewart, thank you for telling us this. Some ones coming in, some twos, some nopes, and I, bless your hearts for not being. Very lucky. Anyway, there was a little situation, similar situation in the footage of Chris Watts from the neighbor Nate's camera. People were speculating that you could see shadows. And man, these shadows, at first it was like you saw the shadow of a little girl, which I do believe we did see a shadow of a little girl, and then you see Chris kind of pick some. But then there were shadows, and they're like, oh, this is no other than Nicole Kessinger. And look, she's holding a baby. And look, there's her pigtail. And it was like, dude, it's a shadow. Like, you can't really, I mean, once I'm going to tell you all a true story right now, and you're probably going to laugh at me. And that's okay. That's quite okay. One time, the last time, when my dumbass got myself arrested years ago, felon friendly here. Don't you be passing any judgment, all right? Keep your judgment to yourselves. But they had my ass in a holding cell. And they had me in that holding cell so long. It was like the fake wood paneling in there. I found Mickey Mouse. I'm not even kidding, okay? You stare long enough at something and you will see things. And that is what happened. If you stare long enough, you will see things. And especially if I'm telling you, if somebody is telling you what to see, and they keep repeating it and they keep circling it, you will see it. Now, you tell me, you ever look at the clouds and you're like, oh, look, it's a dog. That would have been a more appropriate comparison, right, Jennifer? Maybe I should have just stuck with the clouds. Foot and mouth, Granny. But you get what I'm saying. There's a face on my wooden panel fence. Right. So it happens. You can see things, especially if you're, just staring. The face, the moon has a face, right? We've all seen the face on the moon because your mind is just picking up things. So I don't know. I don't know how this guy knows this is a rear view, whatever he said it was. I don't even think he said rear view now that I think of it. Is that the actual name for it? Because I can't pronounce it, but it sounds interesting. Hey, Jason, good morning. Bottom line, Ali would know. The FBI have the knowledge and abilities to verify all the digital data, and they probably verified everything. So who should be trusted? I think we should trust nobody. Use Jesus on a toast. I seen somebody sell a Cheeto at some point. So you get my point, right? I don't know why I didn't just stick with the whole clouds. That would have been a better comparison, but holding cells suck, don't they, Bets? Anyway, moving forward. So he tells us this is some mirror.
This is actually the driver's side window and trim from the white truck being lit up by the floodlights. What I did here is take the original screenshot of the footage zoomed out and the overlay, the actual footage that was filmed, and show you how that lines up.
Okay, now that's actually very smart. I see it now. You know what? I should have just stayed quiet. Now I sees it. I'm kind of blind reacting because I only seen part of this video. But whatever. Good morning, Richard. All right.
Now notice how things shake around a bit. I'm going to explain why I believe things are a bit shaky in this footage. So I believe that either the home...
Can I also say something about shaky? And I'm going to stop pausing. I'm sorry. I talk a lot. People were complaining the other day when a particular creator was filming when the police were called to the event. That person was not shaken. If you zoom in like that, the wind actually makes the image become like that. I've heard people say things like, "Oh, she was shaking because she was scared," and "Oh, she was," no, she wasn't shaking. It was the wind. Okay, mean girl, meanie. It was the wind. That's it. Oh, who said it with me? There you go. Potato news. It was the wind.
Homeowner or the reporter came over, had them zoom in on the footage, and recorded it with a cell phone. And because of that, their hand was not steady, and this caused the footage to be a bit shaky, and it explains why the quality seems to be degraded a bit. For some reason, law enforcement and the family tell the public that these lights have no major value to the case, and have even claimed they are lights from a garbage truck. Let's listen to a short clip from an officer talking about the lights. Notice the strange answer he gives.
Foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security video obtained from the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here, in an area behind the teen's home. Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No,
Why?
because the investigation remains ongoing.
Why is he saying it doesn't have any evidentiary value, but then saying he can't tell you what the lights are because the investigation's ongoing? Okay, so they weren't. I'm a seahorse. That's so funny you say that. What it was whoever owned that ring footage, they invited Nick Barris to come over, and Nick Barris had recorded. I don't know if it was Nick or the original owners, whoever it was. They used their phone to record whatever device that recording was on. So they weren't actually using their cell phone to record the house. It was the ring cam footage being recorded. That was an odd statement, wasn't it? Because it was also a vibration of the car motor. I don't know what the car motor's been about, and from what I've heard, I don't want to know. It's film of footage, right? And does anybody remember us saying that? Gee golly, feels like it was months ago, and people were telling us we were wrong. Anybody? I kept saying it's not the original footage. It is somebody recording off their phone. So whatever audio you think you were hearing is coming from whoever recorded it. Hey, Looking Beyond, it's their background noise that you're hearing, not the original. Yep, we remember. All right. I think it means a lot, Angelica. I honestly do. And apparently this wonderful creator does as well, because they took time to put this together. There you are, saying outlaw. Because they can't tell you what they are. Okay. All right. That's right. It was Nick. And I'm sorry. I seen you say it as well. Jody, good morning.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
Since we have a screenshot of the footage fully zoomed out,
You better
we
hurry
can do
back,
some simple
Scooter.
measurements using basic science to determine where the objects are located.
That doesn't really
Notice
work,
the
sir.
hood of the truck in the top left. If we take a straight line from the hood, we can see that the two lights at the top, which have been assumed to be
BG.
floodlights. And using this line, we can determine that those lights cannot be any higher than the hood of that truck.
This is the only thing I have to disagree with him on. You cannot do that. That's not basic of science. You can't. They you ever go to an illusions museum? You don't even have to go to an illusion museum. You ever feel like, I don't know. We all know that doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Hey, Linda Lane. Ryan Apple, just like, good morning to you. Hey, Christina, good morning. Right, that doesn't quite work. That's not basic science, sir. But I appreciate, the attempt, but the science ain't science then, right? They are off because it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You ever take a photo and I don't know, whatever's in front? I mean, they do the photos all the time where a person holds their hand down, the person in the distance looks like they're staying on their hand. Doesn't work that way. But A for effort, I'll give them that. You can't at all. It's how people take pics that look like they're 3 stories tall compared to a friend. Exactly. Miss Al, good morning. And good morning to Miss Maya. Is she starting school? Kindergarten? All right.
Using this method, we can determine exactly where those lights are coming from. So looking at where that truck was parked that night, seen in this overview, photo here taken the day of, we can then use a Google Street image and line up approximately where that truck was parked. Notice we
So the truck was parked on the grass? I mean, no, but whatever. Hey, Winnie the Pup. Hello. Feel the case is nearing an arrest. I do as well. Does anybody else feel that way? Drop a green heart in the chat if you feel like we are nearing an answer at least. The $1 Million Neighborhood near me, most don't have cameras. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, so the truck is parked sideways, half in the driveway and half on the grass, according to his science. She starts school after Labor Day. Same, but we don't go to a private school. Lots of hearts in this. That makes me so happy. Oh, don't tell me the relief that will be had if we get an answer. He's right. Proportions of shadows exist, and most who analyze this didn't account for that. He's not doing it correctly. Someone is going down.
We add the red line and look at where it takes us.
To the tree.
There is a house exactly across the street.
Oh.
This house.
That house
is next to the Rogers residence.
Oh,
this home has its garage facing towards the camera.
Look how many cars. Holy. This is. That's a lot of cars going on.
It also has 3 garage doors on it. Guess what? That's right. It has floodlights.
Wow.
Above each garage door.
I recall Chris saying that's what it was. Didn't he say it was floodlights? Lee Michelle, welcome to the MFers. Thank you so much for becoming a member. What movie, Ganja? What movie are you talking about? Weird Science? They're about to make it. All right, seriously, who would steal their camera on their home? Nobody. Nobody.
So here, I am taking a street Google view of the direction of the camera.
Okay.
And then adding the security footage overlaid into the Google image. And notice how the floodlights do line up with the image.
They do, okay.
But because the footage itself was filmed with a phone, it is a bit shaky and doesn't always line up. But this does give you an example of where everything is taking place.
Welcome, Moto Mom.
The lights labeled as subject 1 and 2 are moving across the 2 yards.
Okay.
So the big question is, are they flashlights or something else? And where are they coming from exactly, and where are they going to? What I'm about to show you next will shock you to your core.
Good morning, music.
Because the angle of the camera is not quite level with the street. I realized that in order to match up the footage and image correctly, it needed to be tilted a bit to match the angle of the camera footage. And by doing this, literally put all the pieces to the puzzle together.
Okay.
And what you're about to see, in my opinion, is exactly what happened that night. And pay close attention to where those lights are coming from. I also fixed the footage the best I can to keep the floodlights lined up with the garage. Notice we can see subject 1 just behind the house to the right. Then we see subject 2 literally come out from behind the house to the left. This subject literally came from the yard shared by the Proudfoot's home.
Okay.
As subject 2 heads towards subject 1, we noticed that the light disappears right behind the gazebo between the 2 homes. As we continue to watch, notice that it seems like subject 1 is waiting for subject 2 to get closer, as if guiding this person to a car waiting nearby. Noticed as we wait for subject 2 to reappear, we see that subject 1 now moves behind the home to the right, and we cannot see them anymore.
Okay.
Then we see subject 2 reappear to the right of the gazebo. Noticed as subject 2 moves to the right, there are trees, and the light shimmers as it moves, closer to the home on the right. I believe this is not a coincidence that Rogers goes missing the same night that around 3 a.m. Lights are coming from the direction of Rogers' home, and the neighbor mentioning an unidentified vehicle parked on the street nearby. Here is me zooming in on where subject 2 is coming out from.
Okay.
and noticed it clearly pops out just behind the home to the left, the same yard that's shared by the Proudfoot's home. In my opinion, I believe this footage shows the potential abduction of Rogers. Here is a quick clip by the neighbor explaining that there is an unidentified car parked near.
So bear with us here. Bear with us here, because I'm going to have a theory in just a moment. This video was very well done. Very well done. Richard, why would it be a drug deal?
Nearby when these lights are moving around.
The flashlights are coming from two different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves. And then 2 or so hours later, as the sun is just beginning to come up, you can see the trash truck. And she said, but the trash truck goes past her driveway. She said, you can see the trash truck and the lights and the back of the truck go past her driveway, go up the hill, do its business, turn around, come back down. And then within a few minutes later, the sun is coming up. And then you can.
If you would like to hear the whole interview by the neighbor,
We want it.
the link is down in the description below.
But
Let me
thank
know
you.
what you think down in the comments.
All
I
right.
worked really hard putting this together, so if you can, please smash that.
So one thing I noticed that people keep saying, Bobby, people keep saying about this footage is that okay, thank you so much, Castaway. I appreciate that. One thing people kept saying is that subject 2 goes and then scurries back to the house, right? Now, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. A lot of people were automatically saying it had not on Bobby's watch here, that it had to be Katie, right? They're claiming that Katie had to have carried Sebastian out because there was no scent. That's why he was barefoot. Now, hear me out. Katie, although she did serve and everything, it is extremely hard to carry what we would call, and I hate even having to say it this way because I don't imply that I believe that he was deceased, but you call it dead weight. You ever have one of your one of your children fall asleep and you try to carry them, and at this point they're almost as tall as you, and they're dead weight, they're sleeping, right? So you're trying to carry them. And so it's hard. It would be nearly impossible to do that and not kind of struggle. You wouldn't walk as quickly as we see these lights walk in. It'd be difficult. Plus, we're also accounting for being able to hold a flashlight at the same time. I don't think that would be possible. But you know what I personally think would be possible? I personally believe it would be very much possible for somebody that Sebastian met online or had discussions with to tell him to come out and meet them at a certain time. They told him he had to be quiet so nobody would hear him. So don't wear your shoes. Come out, meet me over here. You'll see me with a flashlight. Okay. The reason could be that we see subject 2 going back to the home is because Sebastian went outside and the person that he saw was not who he was suspecting. The person that he saw gave him reason to stop and think, I do not want to go. So he tried to go back to the house and maybe they grabbed him. Could be. Now, I keep hearing an argument over, oh, there was no scent. There was no scent. There was a scent. It just did not lead to Sebastian's whereabouts. You don't understand that, Jody? Which part are we not understanding, respectfully? Wouldn't he be running, though? But to be fair, can we tell if he's running without making a sound? Maybe he did make a sound. Maybe nobody heard the sound. There could be. So let's see it again, right? Actually, hold on.
Things are a bit shaky in this footage. So I believe that either the homeowner or the reporter came over, had them zoom in on the footage, and recorded it with a cell phone. Notice the hood of the truck in the top left.
Honestly, the most logical thought
If we
I've
take
heard
a
yet.
straight line
Well,
from the
I
hood,
appreciate
we can
that. Some people disagree.
see that the two lights at the top.
Right, Jody. And that's what I'm saying. One flashlight went back to the house, right? But obviously, there's no proof they actually went into the house. There's no proof that this flashlight re-entered the home. All there's proof of is that it headed back towards the house. There's not proof that it actually entered the house.
Into the Google image. And notice how the floodlights do line up with the image.
They do.
From. I also fixed the footage the best I can to keep the floodlights lined up with the garage.
For all we know, it could have been the flashlight falling or turning off, or, it could be a lot of things. The other flashlight would have run behind him. Not if they turned the flashlight off at that point, Jody. Not if they turned it off.
Notice we can see subject 1 just behind the house to the right. Then we see subject 2 literally come out from behind the house to the left. This subject literally came from the yard shared by the Proudfoot's home. As subject 2 heads towards subject 1, we noticed that the light disappears right behind the gazebo between the two homes. As we continue to watch,
It could have Crimson Moon, but I can also tell you this, and I can tell you this without a doubt. In the Madeline Soto case, they had the dogs out, and the dogs did not, they did not hit on the truck that there is camera footage of Madeline deceased inside of. Hey, JPG, it's good to see you. So the dogs failed. The dogs aren't always reliable. I mean, we know without a doubt, because there's camera footage, that Madeline was deceased inside that vehicle, yet the dogs did not hit. His scent would be all over the house. He lives there. It'd be in the area surrounding the house as well. Tracking is only good beyond the home yard. So that would make sense. Call me G Nana. Hey, Kathy. Dog scent trails are matched up. Oh, okay. Well, take a look at that. Thank you. Dogs don't always pick up the scent. They don't. Unfortunately, they don't. No one talks about if he's alive, what's being, I don't even want to think about it.
notice that it seems like subject 1 is waiting for subject 2 to get closer, as if guiding this person to a car waiting nearby.
As if afraid to move any closer, right? An abductor, afraid to move any closer. But we know there was no male there, that cone. There just was not a male there. I do as well, River House, and I think they don't want us to know. And I think they weren't happy. This is the problem when you have neighbors come out, right? What if the police did not want the information that Bobby had to be placed out here? What if that could have messed up the entire investigation? We have to remember and be patient, okay? A lot of people are out here screaming, we want justice for Sebastian. Do you really, if you're willing to, host neighbors, alleged neighbors, and, accept anonymous posts of people claiming to be the cousins and the brothers and the sisters? Do you really? Because you can mess up an investigation. And you know what that reminds me of? That Jennifer Coffindoffer bitch. Oh my goodness. Excuse my language. I am so sorry. I've really been working hard on that cursing. But she made me so angry in her dumb video yesterday. So angry.
Noticed as we wait for subject 2 to reappear, we see that subject 1 now moves behind the home to the right, and we cannot see them anymore.
Right, they're trying to stay away.
Then we see subject 2 reappear.
Subjects come in, get behind, back behind, hide behind something. So now subject number 1's hiding, right? Oh, they're coming out. Let's hide. Don't want them to see me. If they see me too soon, they might run back to the home. Right? So if I stand back a little bit, maybe they won't see me and they'll be close enough I can just grab them.
Appear to the right of the gazebo. Noticed as subject 2 moves to the right, there are trees.
Could be
and the
shaggy.
light shimmers as it moves, closer to the home on the right. I believe this is not a coincidence that Rogers goes, missing.
The light shimmers, right? You know what the shimmering could be?
The same night that around 3 a.m., lights are coming from the direction of Roger's home and the neighbor mentioning an unidentified vehicle parked on the street nearby. Here is me zooming in on where subject 2 is coming out from, and noticed it clearly pops out just behind the home to the left, the
Clearly
same
pops
yard
out.
that's shared by the Proudfoot's home. In my
Running. Thank
opinion,
you.
I believe this footage shows the potential abduction of Rogers. Here is a quick clip by the neighbor explaining that there is an unidentified car parked near.
The only thing that again throws me off is that unless they did this so that they wouldn't give any hints to the suspects that they're suspects, but they do claim that they verified all the cars that night. We heard one was an Uber driver, we heard whatever, right? But that could also be the police are allowed to lie. Okay, they're allowed to lie. So it could be the police are just saying that because they don't want the people to know that they're onto something. JD, it could very well be. I'm telling you, there's so many things this could be that it's kind of such a simple cop out to be like, oh, yep, it's Katie. She went back to her house. Okay. You try carrying 120 pounds, 5'5", child that would be dead weight, respectfully, and I'm not saying that in any regard to if I believe Sebastian was, alive or not. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to do. How tall is Katie, right? It would be very hard to do, excuse me, and to also do that while carrying a flashlight. I just...
nearby when these lights are moving around.
The flashlights are coming from two different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves.
Now, the only part that confuses me with Bobby is she says they do whatever they were doing around the car. But the car's not in the yards, right? Now, right here, the two flashlights meet up. When does the flashlight even go back to the home? Where is that even coming from?
Leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves. And then 2 or so hours later, as the sun is just...
Where are we getting at the flashlight returned back to the house again? I'm sorry. Because I just rewound this twice and I don't see that. I don't see that happening. And what is one thing we know, or we were told, Sebastian may have left the home with? A flashlight. A flashlight.
just beginning to come up. You can see the trash truck. And
Shut
she
up,
said,
Bobby. All right. So what do you guys think? You think it's a possibility? Could all be a diversion. It could be. TBI has publicly put into the TBI frequently asked questions fact sheet that all the vehicles in the area that night been identified. Right. And to be fair, Wendy, it just crossed my mind. Just because they were identified doesn't mean they're not suspicious, right? They could be on to something here. They're just not telling us. Narrative has pushed the whole time by someone involved. Stories of Katie was with him that they focused on. Which one has a foolproof alibi? There's a reason I do not believe it's Katie. Hey, Victorious. Good morning. I pray. Right. It didn't go back to what would be the Proudfoot home. Right, Frenchie tribe. I wonder why people keep saying that. 5'5". Katie's 5'5". You want us to believe that a 5'5" woman was able to carry a 5'5" teenage boy? Solid 120 pounds? The light sources are phone lights. They could be. Or they could be good old-fashioned flashlights. Hey, Stormcat. Okay. Well, what did I not say 120? What did I say? I'm sorry. I may have just misspoke. Oh. Well, Fletch, I believe these lights are believed to appear at 3 in the morning. So, a few hours later. And you also have to remember, Sebastian did respond. That's the other thing I keep hearing people say. If there's a loud noise in my kid's room, I'm going to look. I'm not. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not. Because if I say, hey, what are you doing? And I get a response, or if I say, hey, are you okay? And I get a response, I'm not then going to still look. We were told that Sebastian responded after the thud. I don't know why people are pretending that they would hop up and jump up and go run and look in the room. I don't know. I don't believe many people when they say I would look. But then again, some of these people are the same ones that say you're supposed to tuck a 15-year-old into bed and pick out their clothes for the next day and all that other weird crap. So who knows? You're supposed to bathe them and yeah, okay. I'm 6 foot and can't carry that either. Right. That would be so difficult, M. Oslin. It would just be nearly impossible. Who saw Jennifer Coffindoffer? I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. And guess what? I don't care. I think there are noises you jump. Yeah. Yeah. You know what noise I jump at, Remy? When there's no noise. That's when I jump. When my kids are together and I don't hear a peep, I get scared. It's the only time. Now that they're older, I mean, I don't. Can we watch? Can we ever? Can we ever? That's what I'm saying, Angelica. Like, let me go put some powder on your butt, get you ready for bed. No. You are 7? No way. 7'6"? No way. You mean 6'7"? We foster care and take teens. When I hear the kids in there, I just tell them, didn't I say go to bed? Right. Didn't I say go to bed? Didn't I say go to sleep? The sound of a thud is a noise, right? When people are like, she changed her story. She heard a noise and then it was a thud. She gave a descriptive for the noise that nobody else asked her for. That's it. It's not changing. It's not changing the story. It's adding a descriptive. Tyler especially. Oh, man. Oh, man. I miss the babies, though. So did Jennifer Stinkenroffer, Waffle Doffer, got on my nerves so bad, I had to exit out of her stream. I got 24 seconds in and I said, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. She does zero research. Okay. And then, oh, well, we'll just share it. You guys ready to be angry in the morning? Listen, I'm at the point, and I'll be 100% honest with you. Hey, I know it's completely different than it looks. But hey, Festige. Just say when my 2 kids lived with me, I only went to look in their rooms when I would hear noises twice. I think the video has some truth to it, but I believe that all 3 have something to do with it. That's what I was just about to say. I'm at the point where I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't think Katie had anything to do with it. I think if anything, there's a possibility that Chris and Seth were working together. Ultimately, the best thing I could hear would be that, the rumors of Sebastian being placed in some type of living home were correct. But unfortunately, I believe this was stranger danger. I believe the stranger got a hold of Sebastian. We've heard many times that all he wanted was friends, come on. Oh, Divine, let me drop you my email. Shoot me an email and I'll get to you. Which just reminded me, my friend Canvas and Crime sent me a beautiful email. All right. Oh, dang it, I highlighted you, but I didn't read it. I'm sorry. Where'd you go, JP? Where'd you go? If I hear a noise, I assume it's them on the VR or something like that. I don't check every noise. I would drive myself crazy if I did that. Right. Especially older kids. So I'm going to let Coffindoffer play for a moment while I go pray and get some sage and holy water. Maybe some Tylenol too. So play it out real quick.
True crimers, welcome to Break the Case. I'm your host. I'm Jen Coffindoffer. I just want to apologize to everybody who is in the chat right now. I am running a little bit behind, which isn't really like me. I like to be very punctual and start on time. So I'm grateful that all of you hung on here to talk about a very important topic, which is Sebastian Rogers. We have been on this case, as most of you know, from the get-go. A very important case for so many reasons. Unfortunately, the Sebastian Rogers case, maybe almost unprecedented, has more drama than most of the cases, certainly the missing cases that we look into. I think it's paralleled a lot in so many ways to the Summer Wells case in terms of drama, in terms of, the parents, in terms of the interest in the case, and possibly in terms of some culpability. But I want to touch first on, I'll call it the elephant in the room, which we know that Bullhorn Betty, who many of you know, was arrested. For those of you who have been a part of this case and are active on social media and even in mainstream media, it certainly made the news locally that Bullhorn Betty was arrested. Sadly, I say because, again, it just so detracts from Sebastian Rogers. The whole situation, in my opinion, our conversation should always be about facts and always be about rewards and be about the latest going on the case. But somehow every week there's a new twist, a new person, a new name, a new situation that arises.
Sadly, I know. The elephant in the room. At first I was like, oh yeah, get her. But then what comes next, I'm like, oh, shut up. Sadly arrested. Right. Sadly. You heard that, right, the Krista? I'm now the person with a squeaky chair. How embarrassing. Okay. Sadly was arrested. First off, how does it, there's no like, she's like, she kind of reminded me of Squidward right now, right? SpongeBob. Sadly arrested. Yeah, you know what's sad about it? The only sad bit about it is that it does take away from Sebastian. Because she's friendly with Tony.
Is that detracts from Sebastian Rogers. Now,
she is just.
I will say
good to see you.
That I think Bullhorn Betty has spent a lot of time and energy on the case.
She sounds like she's either going to burp or throw up. Like she sounds like she's holding in a Whopper. Like,
I think that, she certainly has put forth effort to try to bring forth attention to Sebastian Rogers, but many people can argue why, what was her motive. Only Bullhorn Betty can really answer that question. And I am.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm not the only one, Sammy. Doesn't she? Do these people know all things about Tony? No, they're ignorant to it. Hey, Thor. Oh, I already said hi to you, Thor. Sophie, I can't stand her. Kick rocks. What the F is she talking about? She doesn't support Turtle Boy, and he's doing the same thing that BHB does. Situational. Always is, my friend.
Not here to cast aspersions regarding Bullhorn Betty. I'm here to talk about Sebastian Rogers and the facts, but I didn't think I could really address the case and just sort of ignore what recently happened.
They take your word for it, Lady Zeppelin, so I had the same thought. There is no way that's Betty's weight. I'll just say it what you want, Lady Zeppelin. I'll say it for you. They didn't actually weigh her. They asked her how much she weighed. Hey, Fred. Let the burp out here, Carpenter. Squidward. She gets that frog in her throat every time she lies. Oh. I unsub too. She talks slow because she's slow. She's slow on the updates. She's slow on the facts. And she's holding in a massive burp or a fart. I don't know which.
For those of you who don't know the insight, essentially, there was a protective order that Katie Proudfoot got against Bullhorn Betty.
Oh, just shit. I'm so happy to see you.
According to law enforcement, Bullhorn Betty, Katie Proudfoot, was a protective order. Who don't know the insight, essentially, there was a protective order that Katie Proudfoot got against Bullhorn Betty.
She's reminding me of gosh, she's so slow. First off, it wasn't just Katie Proudfoot. It was also the Bauer Sox. You know what really aggravates me about her is that she is supposed to be professional, right? We should be able to take what she is saying as factual. If she is aggravating you already, be prepared, my friends, because you will walk away with rage. 620. Wow, little mama. Got you up early. 5 foot and 165. BHB got to be 177 plus. You're 5 feet tall. Good morning, Emily Pickles.
And according to law enforcement, Bullhorn Betty broke the parameters of that protective order. It's really as simple as that. Why is that important? I think it's important for
Is this the law,
the
bitch?
reason that I do believe this was precedent setting. I say that because we see it happen over and over again where the parents, where the
Did I pass already where she called it a temporary restraining order? Oh, got us, Johnny 5. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard a thud, a sound come from your teenage child's room, disability or not, and you shouted out and they responded. Would put a 1 if you would not go and look. If the response would be enough, put a 2 if you would go look. I'm curious how many of you would actually get up and go to your child's room to check on them. How many of you would accept the response as an answer that they're okay? Get it right. Or what, Johnny? I love when people say get it right. Get it right. Get what right? The fact that you would do differently than most in this room would do? Get that right? Thank you for all the 1s in here being honest, and for all the 2s. Good on you. I do appreciate the fact that you would. I wouldn't. I would take the response being, okay, you're okay. Thank you. I honestly wouldn't think anything was wrong, though. I would just think they were roughhousing or they should have been in bed. All right, Johnny. You're going to have to take your gaslighting self to the timeout corner, okay? Because you're in here judging us, sir. So how dare you judge me, okay? Or judge any of us. You're in here judging. Secondly, nobody's judging autistic parents. And you're judging all autistic children by claiming they don't roughhouse. Who are you to say on this huge spectrum that nobody under that umbrella in that spectrum roughhouses? Come on. Well, bye-bye, Tammy Darby. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down on your way out. Don't let the good Lord hit you. Or, sorry, I said that wrong. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But bye-bye. Have a great day. If you'd rather have Bullhorn, but I bet you would. Judging by what I'm seeing, I bet you would. Okay, so my son roughhousing, he's autistic. Thank you for that, Porsche. Thank you. I hate when people try to judge all autistic children by their own experiences, okay? Drives me absolutely insane. I got to roll. Work's calling. Bye, lady for justice. I hope you have a great day. I'm literally autistic and I wrestle my brothers for years. They don't roughhouse. I have a trampoline in my living room, a crash pad in my bedroom. Right, I'm Italian. Y'all, what's going on? They answer, and I say, go to sleep. Good morning, Kate the Great. Leave the judgments to Jesus. Hallelujah. Jumps around, makes noises, no different than any other kid. Right. Come on, stop labeling. All your experiences aren't everybody else's. She does talk extremely slow, just Jada. Oh, my goodness. It is dreadful. Oh, shit. What we got? What we got? Breaking news. Hold on. Give me just a second.
Individuals involved in these cases can be harassed and stalked and so forth. I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation.
And thank you so much for the super sticker. I apologize. I didn't say thank you. Thank you so much. Are they still here? Tell them to get out. Every kid is different. Autistic or not, Kathy clocked the house. You know what the other thing is? The other thing is, Sebastian was recently diagnosed, okay? Here we go. I'm a parent of an autistic child. You should check when he was younger because he would jump off of stuff. But now, if no response, I get up. Mine are in their 20s. Thank you, Twinika. Thank you. You know, when they're rambunctious and they're climbing on top of the dressers and they're, you know, nose diving onto the bed. And I get that. But when we're talking about teenagers and they respond, I know, Jody, this is punishment, my friends. Punishment. Should I speed her up? My 10-year-old son is autistic and is always roughhousing. Thank you guys for sharing your experiences. I don't know why people try to base every autistic person under their own, you know, experience.
I am saying that was what was alleged, and there at least is a temporary protective order in place. And
There it is. There it is. A temporary Jennifer Schnoffendorfer, aka Squidward. If you are going to claim to be an actual reliable news source, at least know what you were speaking of. It wasn't just Katie Proudfoot. It was Katie Proudfoot and the Bauer Sox, and they were granted. ROs.
situation, I am saying that was what was alleged, and there at least is a temporary protective order in place, and she did not abide by those parameters according to the law enforcement officials that arrested her. Now,
And girls,
I also
Amy.
want to say this, and that is that hopefully, again, this hasn't been adjudicated yet, but hopefully this will put other YouTubers, other creators, other people in the social media realm on notice that at least in certain states, certainly not in Massachusetts, you can get away with a lot in Massachusetts. It's shocking. But certainly in Tennessee.
She saw it has been adjudicated. It has, Jennifer. How do you? So at first I'm like, okay, well, maybe Jennifer's just not up to date. Maybe this video was made in advance, is what I was thinking. But the fact that she announces that Betty was arrested tells me it was not made in advance. So when she's sitting here and again, right, people look to her for facts. Well, they shouldn't, but they do. And you're saying it hasn't been adjudicated. And you're also saying that it's temporary. You don't know what you're talking about.
And in these southern states,
She's even wearing green
they,
lights, Squidward.
I think, really are much more strict on parameters when it comes to protective orders.
You think? Or do
That
you know?
is about all I'm going to say on it. I know a lot of people want me to come out and just blast Bullhorn Betty. That is just not my MO. That's not the way I roll. Bullhorn
not?
Betty has an attorney. I want to see how
I've heard you blast much more. And yeah, Mr. Pro say.
that whole case ends up being adjudicated.
So can I tell you guys something though? She keeps saying she wants to see how the case is adjudicated. It is, Jennifer. But I believe that Betty did have an attorney. Hey, Pearls girl. I do believe that Betty had an attorney. I know a lot of others don't believe that was her receipt. They don't believe she had an attorney. I do. I believe it. Don't ask me why, but I do.
In terms of this temporary protective order, again, put in place by Katie Proudfoot, which we're going to talk about her tonight.
It was permanent.
So in any event, I
For
did
at
want to
least a
address
year.
the elephant in the room and say it'll play out. The biggest reason I'm just so disappointed in the decision making.
Betty's an
Again,
elephant.
she was arrested at Sebastian Rogers' vigil.
She was not, though. There you go again with lies. She was not arrested at the vigil. She wasn't. Do I like that the arrest took place on a day where it was meant to be about Sebastian? I don't. I don't like it at all. It felt yucky to me. But here's the thing. The police don't care. They will get you when they can get you. They don't care what you have going on. My 9-year-old is autistic. He will jump on, and want to wrestle and roughhouse all day, and his pain tolerance is so high he feels no pain. Yeah, yeah. I don't think Katie did anything to him. I mean, honestly, you often hear as children with autism get a little bit older, they become so strong and don't realize their own strength that they become, the parents feel threatened and steps have to be taken. Yeah, she's just ridiculous, isn't she?
I'm just so disappointed that she went. I'm so disappointed that
go.
again, an
That she
event that
went.
should have been focused on Sebastian Rogers, on this motorcycle group raising money, that money going to a pet shelter in the name of Sebastian Rogers, on remembering Sebastian Rogers, raising a candle to him.
She should have
Again,
never went.
Diverted. So
Diverted because the woman that you were almost putting on a pedestal by not having your facts correctly decided that she needed to be center stage, which is what she has done the entirety of Sebastian's disappearance since she jumped on it months late. Lisa Laney, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping I can make it a little bit more bearable. Should I just jump ahead? I can jump ahead. I didn't make it through the whole thing either, and I don't know if I'll be able to with all of you. But, you know, we got to listen to her more on. She was arrested at the vigil, and other people on other platform who were there saw her get arrested there. I thought she got arrested at the brewery. I thought it was at the brewery. Am I wrong? I thought she didn't make it to the vigil because she was arrested. We have footage of the vigil. She was not there because she was arrested. Taj, thank you. Were you born in 88? Me too, my friend. Professional or something. Right. There's nothing professional about her. Even what she's wearing. What are you wearing? Like, what do these people wear? In a parking lot after the run. Right. At the brewery. Okay. So, yes. She was not arrested at the vigil. She wasn't.
I've gone on too long about that. That's that. Let's get
Thank
into
you.
Sebastian
Thank
Rogers.
you,
First of
Kathy.
all, there is a $50,000 reward that was put up by the FBI.
Because they're ignorant.
And I want to address rewards in two lanes.
We don't care
First
what
of
you
all,
say. Shut up.
When I see a reward mummified, meaning instead of being vibrant and out there and a lot going on, we see basically nothing going on, nothing of substance, nothing that's going to help bring Sebastian back in terms of what we're hearing. So when I see a reward go out like this, what this tells me.
You know what Steph said about the reward?
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
But
the
to be
internet's telling you
provided to law.
The internet kept telling her to shut it up. Damn it, cocktail dress. I even said it in advance so that hopefully you guys would get the notification. I graduated in 88. That's when I was born. You're a year older than me. There we go. Hopefully Sebastian will be found, or answers will come. I agree. He didn't say thank you. He expressed disappointment. Do you know there are a lot of families that would absolutely love for their missing loved one to not only get that level of a reward, but to also have the amount of attention that this case has garnered? They would love it.
Enforcement to reinvigorate this investigation. So like I said, I think it's great because about there's that. Now, I want to talk a little bit historically about this case. I want to talk about some facts that.
That's what it is. She's dressed like a dinosaur. Oh, I did? And we're neighbors near Jersey. I'm in New York. Class of 89. That was a great year. I just always hear people say that.
Have concerned all of us from
Good
the
morning,
beginning, and I'm going to rehash them
I like that
just
name.
a bit. First of all,
She's
I
going to
want to
rehash
talk
them.
about Katie Proudfoot.
What do you think that Coffindoffer got up that day and was like, my glasses are going to match my shirt?
The reason I want to talk about Katie.
What she put the avocado. Hello, asthma. Look how she
want to talk
the
about
glasses.
Katie Proudfoot. The reason I want to talk about Katie Proudfoot is she was the last one to see Sebastian Rogers.
Shut up.
Now we have proof of life on the 25th from a restaurant, a video.
Yeah, let me speed her ass
We
up.
definitely know he was alive then. Other than that, all we have is Katie's words about Sebastian Rogers. And this is the problem I have. And I've been
Look, does she look like she's shaky when you speed her up? Looking like old age is taking a hold there. She is foolishly vain. She is. You got 10 years on me? And that's why it's weird to call me granny, ain't it? You're gonna make me feel old. You're my oldest son's age. Oh, we're all a fam. That is sped up. I had to speed her up. There, I'm done using these glasses. Right. Let me put these on for just a quick second there.
Very careful about
Good morning, Mama Llama.
not throwing her or Chris necessarily under the bus.
She froze again. The internet again says, shut up. Look at her. So
You
professional.
sign out of your internet. Sorry, I'm not sure what's going on with my
Oh,
internet.
glasses
I want to
appeared.
talk about her 3 statements about Sebastian Rogers.
Let's talk
Now,
about
we
it.
should be talking about her 1 statement because the truth never changes. It's as simple as that.
It
What
doesn't,
happened
does it?
in terms of when you last saw Sebastian and when you went to go look for him, those facts should never change.
They
But with
should
Katie
not.
Proudfoot, they've changed 3 times, and I'm going to go over them really quick.
The
Her
Lord
first
caused
story
her, not me.
was that Sebastian went to bed at around 9 p.m. The next morning at 6 when she woke him.
That's not the story I heard. Is that the story you all heard? Right, she had to show us the 3 fingers. I was waiting for her to put up 4 because, well, you know, my oldest was born in 88. That's awesome.
Cool. He was gone. Okay, that's story number 1.
We are
The next story
greatest.
is that Katie heard him.
Listen, I wear neon in the summer. I like neon. I'm not going to lie. I really love neon colors, especially when you're tan, they pop. But yes, she does not pull it off. FBI has been involved since the beginning. I've been saying that. So when they were saying we want the FBI, Seth was saying he wanted the FBI involved. They were involved. Okay. And that this reward just proved that. Anyway, I just want to try to get through
At
her.
about 10
She
p.m.,
annoys me.
heard a noise, loud noise, and she yelled at him.
Well, she
She didn't
didn't.
go in and check on him. She yelled at him. Hey, be
Okay.
quiet in there. Go to bed. It's time for bed.
Is that what she
6 o'clock,
said?
she went in. He wasn't there. Story number 3 is that, again, she heard after 10 o'clock a thud. Remember, initially it was a noise, and then it kind of changed to a thud.
That doesn't change, you dumbass. It doesn't change. It is descriptive, right? The only person that asked her to describe the noise she heard was no other than Nancy Grace. So she said it was like a thud. That's not changing. It's not changing her story. Wait till you hear this. This absolutely, we're getting up to a point where she really, this is where I actually tuned out. A thud is a noise.
So anytime we're interviewing somebody and
Right. didn't
specificity
change,
like
it
that
was
changes, in other
expanded.
words, that thud should have been talked about in story number 1. It was talked about in story number 3. And furthermore, what she said
It was talked about in story number 1. Ugh.
is he responds. That Sebastian responds and says, I'm okay, I'm going to bed.
Right.
So you see the issue
But that's
I
not
have
what he
here,
said.
and I think
He said, okay, Mom.
many people have, is why the change in story. This is about your son. This isn't asking about what happened when you went to the grocery store. This isn't about your child coming home or your husband, I will say, because children don't usually ask this question, how was your day?
Can I just point out really quick let me just put her on mute because she gets on my nerves. Can I just point out really quick that Jennifer Coffindoffer should know more than anybody that during a tragic moment, right? I forget the actual, what they literally name it, but it does happen where as the days go on, you start to remember certain things. Does anybody know what they actually call that? It doesn't necessarily mean they're lying. They're just remembering different things. At first, you just, this happens with everything. At first, you just give like the basis of it. And then it's kind of like, oh, you know what? And I remember now there was a guy in a red shirt and she should know that it happens. It doesn't mean these people are lying. She gets
Okay.
worse here, guys.
And
She
you say,
gets
well,
way
generally,
worse.
I worked on this, or I did this, I walked the dog, I, prepared.
Mhm.
No, it's general, right? This is about being interviewed about your son, your autistic son who is missing. You don't forget thuds, loud noises, him not saying something, him saying something.
She never.
That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
You know what you don't do, Jennifer Coffindoffer, as an alleged, professional reporter? You don't lie. A thud is a noise. It was never missed from the story. She's always stated it. And she never lied that he didn't respond and then he did respond and then he didn't. It was always the same. She called out to him, said, get to bed, Sebastian. And he said, okay. That's it. That's all. It never changed.
It happened here. And this is notable. It's notable. I've said many times,
Shows your ugly
I hope
outfit.
that Sebastian Rogers ends up like Hunter Jack Oswald, that he truly did walk out that door.
Mm-hmm.
that he'll be found 2.5 years from now. But I want to bring up this other point that I think is very important.
That's right. Couldn't
Sebastian
agree
Rogers
more.
has not been seen at all since February 25th. I'm going to say the 25th because that's what I call proof of life. That was on a video. We don't know what happened that evening. We don't know what happened in the night.
What
We
it
don't know
is?
what happened in that early morning hours. We just don't know.
Trauma
we are now-
recall.
We are
Sounds
now
easier to
relying
pronounce.
on Katie Proudfoot, who has not been completely truthful. She's changed her story.
Psychogenic and amnesia.
He
Okay.
hasn't been seen on video. He hasn't been seen by anyone. This was in the suburbs. This wasn't the inner city where you could just sort of end up mingling somehow with, homeless people or somehow just maybe under the radar and not seen.
What? You think only homeless people are only in the inner city? Tell us more, Jennifer.
Was he picked up? I mean, we
Well,
have to
maybe.
at least consider that as a possibility. No one's come out about anything like that. She's got a 15-year-old, high-functioning, autistic young man. Disappears. All right, I want to talk next about Chris Proudfoot. Okay,
Here we
Chris
go.
Proudfoot. Again, pretty much held my tongue. Been taking notes,
You pretty much held your tongue. Well, we wish you'd hold it a little bit harder.
sitting back watching. Chris Proudfoot, if you go back and look at the video of his ex,
Right.
and that video now, maybe some of you recorded it. It's hard to find because it's private now. So unless you made a copy of it that you can see,
This on 2
His-
times speed.
X was so believable. The pain, the quivering, the tears, the consternation in her voice, my opinion, believable. I understand.
You know what, Jennifer Coffendorfer? And you're also believable, okay? Doesn't mean you're being honest. Now, I'm not questioning Nina's story. I don't care here or there. It's what she says
Exes have
next.
reasons to say bad things about their exes, and I thought she was being truthful. You all can take a look at that video. I posted it on my Twitter long ago. I want to point out some of the major
Right.
things she said, okay? She said, Chris Proudfoot mistreated a newborn.
Mistreated a
Mistreated a
newborn.
newborn?
I don't recall that. What I recall her saying is that Chris Proudfoot was holding the newborn when Nina smacked him in his face. I don't recall ever hearing that Chris Proudfoot, but then again, I didn't, whatever. It's been a while. Who knows?
A newborn child is the most innocent, most precious. They have absolutely no defense mechanism. They're just a little baby.
Weird.
Who can mistreat?
And he still remained with custody. That is amazing. It is amazing how all these CPS call-ins and all these things, yet they still remained with custody. I'm not saying CPS doesn't fail because they fail all the time. But come on. Come on.
Treat a newborn.
Hit
If
the
you can
thumbs
mistreat
up,
a
Rebel
newborn,
Rose.
Can you mistreat somebody who's 15 with autism that you don't particularly like anyway,
Oh,
that you don't want your daughter around?
now he doesn't like him anyway. He just stayed married and a father figure for 8 years, but he doesn't really like him. Okay. Okay.
That you allowed to have somebody in your house sexually abused him. This is the kind of man, somebody in your house sexually abused him.
Let me rewind this back. I want you guys to hear this and hear this very closely.
House that you allowed to have somebody in your house sexually abused him.
Yes, you all heard that correctly. Hey, Vanessa. Do you know how many children? Let's find out. One in 9 girls and 1 in 20 boys under the age of 18 experience SA or assault. 82% of all victims under 18 are female. Female ages 16 and 19 are 4 times more likely. Jennifer Coffendorfer basically just said to any parent whose child fell victim of that type of assault that they allowed it. They allowed it to happen. Allowed. Do you know how disgusting that is? That part made me so angry. That's like stating any child, and let's not forget it was by another child, right? Any child that was ever SA'd, the parents allowed it to happen. I can promise you my parents did not allow it to happen. My parents were unaware that it happened. The fact that as a alleged professional woman, she would make such an ignorant statement is infuriating. Allowed it to happen. It just absolutely infuriated me. If I mean, honestly, maybe you'll be the next example, Coffindoffer. Maybe you'll be the next example. Allowed it to happen. I didn't make it much further, and I don't think I will again today.
This is the kind of man that I at least believe Chris Proudfoot is.
Used to be
You go to a couple
FBI,
of
but
other
that's
things.
scary.
Verbally and physically abused a 4-year-old. Now you've got a 4-year-old. You know, whether we're calling that a toddler, I mean, it's a 4-year-old. Again,
He says all this without any proof. Former FBI, public figure, alleged professional, people look to her for facts. And she states all of this as factual information with zero proof. Thank you so much, Snazzy. Zero proof.
4-year-olds are the most, they love you so unequivocally. They're so fun. That was one of the best ages. They're so curious, but you know what? They're terrified of strangers. They want mommy. They want daddy. They seek their parents for true love and affection. And
Who are you talking to? My 4-year-olds were never afraid of strangers. If I'll be honest, they would say hello to everybody. Jennifer, you say a lot of things in absolutes without really knowing. Exactly, Rebel Rose. It is infuriating.
commitment, and you're abusing that age of a child. This isn't, a teenager who is being disobedient. I'm not saying that's an excuse. All I'm saying is an infant and a 4-year-old. Right now, we have accounts.
There she goes, frozen again.
We have spankings that were, I think the word I could use is vicious. They were
vicious.
Not taps on the rear. Remember, when you punish a child,
vicious. The internet keeps interrupting her for a reason.
Now, I, for one, I'm 1,000% against corporal punishment. My parents use corporal punishment. I was at the receiving end of it.
Oh, did they?
A lot of parents believe in corporal punishment. Personally, I don't. Every parent has to make their own decision. But to corporal punish a kid, first of all, with any sort of weapon, because you don't want to hurt your hand, maybe your corporal punishment is too forceful. And
do you guys know that Chris Proudfoot used the belt because he didn't want to hurt his hand? I mean, really? Where'd you get that from, Jennifer?
And spankings. The thing about a spanking, at least when I got a spanking, I was so embarrassed, ashamed, almost humiliated that the person I loved the most would want to spank me. It was so humbling to sit there and get spanked.
It was humbling to get spanked. Jennifer, you need to be spanked again. You sound stupid.
Beyond humbling. It's horrible, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody has their own
horrible
way, and I'm not trying to judge anyone. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're not trying to judge
spoil
anyone.
The child, spare the rod. There's the religious saying in the Bible. I joke about it and I say, see, you're supposed to spoil the child and you're supposed to spare the rod.
Oh, yeah. See, you're funny. Ha, ha, ha. With your cross going on.
Which I know most people say no. If your child will be spoiled if you don't, spank them. I don't want to belabor this. I just want to say these were spankings that occur, in my belief, out of anger, out of emotion, out of wanting to hurt a child.
Have a great day.
She'd want to help a child. She'd want to help a child.
So they were done out of anger, or were they done to teach a lesson? Listen, I don't agree with it either. I do not agree with the fact that a belt was used. I don't agree with it. But she's added a lot of intentions behind something she really knows nothing about.
I'll not repeat the action that they did that earned them the punishment. Extended timeouts. Now, I thought timeouts were such a great method, but timeouts typically should be the age of.
So Coffindoffer doesn't want you to spank, and she doesn't want you to put kids in timeout. Okay.
The child. So if you're putting a 4-year-old in timeout, it should be for 4 minutes, right? Timeouts that are extended where you leave your child, and I've seen this before. Kids left in a corner for hours standing, not able to relieve themselves, not able to move, not able to eat, not able to do anything. Now,
I have never once heard of Sebastian Rogers being placed in timeout in a corner, not being able to relieve himself. I've never heard of Sebastian being placed in timeout like she's describing. Have any of you? Where's this timeout bit coming from? Coffindoffer being unreal here. During a generation, Beltons were normal or spankings. She's acting like that never happened in the past. crazy talk, right? Nobody's heard of any timeouts. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss something here.
I don't know all the details on his timeouts, but they were apparently really bad.
Oh, were they?
Okay. I'm just saying I believe her.
We never even
Then
heard
there
it.
were the statements from the neighbor. I also posted all those statements on Twitter.
The statements from the neighbor that would not come on panel and do a live stream, the neighbor that all the other neighbors have no idea who that neighbor was. Hey, Mr. Positive, it's been a long time. It's good to see you. Nobody knows who that neighbor was. All the other neighbors cannot even identify that alleged neighbor. The neighbor that went on a drama stream of a woman who interrupts serious topics to play stupid clapping hands when she gets a new member. Okay? The neighbor.
To consider. Again, maltreatment this time. Again, I touched on it a few minutes ago, but aimed directly at Sebastian.
I hope they sue her. Look, freezing again. The internet's telling you, shut up, Coffindoffer. Shut up. Look at her. Squirmer. Clara.
The humiliating treatment to me, a spanking with a belt. This is an autistic child. And to take a belt, a weapon, so that you don't have to hurt your hand.
A weapon,
And
so you
that's
don't
how
have
you
to
beat a
hurt
child?
your hand.
I have a lot of issues with that. And this isn't
When did Chris ever say it was so he didn't have to hurt his hand?
from the neighbor. These are the words directly out of Chris Proudfoot.
Oh, are they?
Admitted to it.
Did he say he
We
didn't
know
want to hurt
CPS
his
was
hand?
called. We know there were such serious issues in that house. Why is
Good
all
morning,
of that
Crystal.
important? All of that's important for two
Hope
reasons.
everything's
It
okay,
explains two
Captain.
things. One, why Sebastian Rogers would want to
Never.
leave. Explains that.
Does
Who
it
would want to live in
explain
an environment where you're getting beat, where you're being mistreated, sleep mattress in the garage, yelled at, called names?
The mattress in the garage. She brings that up. Watch what she says next. Oh, Lord. Watch what she says next.
You call them names, retard. People who have the ability to
This is where I exit out. Have any of you ever heard the R word come out of Chris Proudfoot's mouth? I do as well, Carla. I do as well. Have any of you ever heard him call Sebastian the R word? I mean, she's an FBI agent who called a criminal by her YouTube handle. Not her real name when talking about legal issues, protective orders. This woman is clueless. Nobody heard it. And she's saying it as factual. She's talking about the mattress in the garage, which there's no proof of. She's talking about timeouts, which there's no proof of. She's saying Chris hit him with a belt because he didn't want to hurt his hand, which sounds asinine, quite frankly. Hey, PM. Good morning, Earth Angel.
do that to an autistic child. And I have a brother, as many of you know, he's not autistic, he has cerebral palsy. He was born breech and was kept in that position for about 10 seconds. And so he unfortunately has severe.
That would be like if somebody said right now, oh, so your mom allowed your brother to be born that way? You sound stupid, Jennifer. Right. We don't hear any of that.
Learning and physical special type needs. How anybody could even dream of.
All of
spanking
this
a
is
child like that.
rumor.
And this is my biological brother.
Okay, there's no comparison of cerebral palsy to autism. Respectfully, there's none. Hey, Crimson Crime. There's no comparison. Secondly, Sebastian was recently diagnosed. Prior to this appearing, he was diagnosed less than a year prior. Yeah, she really is brewing hell. I'm not allowed to say that word anymore, but you can. She really is. Yes, Seth smacked his kid in the head. He gripped him out of the pool with one arm. He also left marks on his neck, allegedly, according to the RO filing, as well as the photos. It is scary. It is scary. I can't believe that she is using internet rumors off a drama channel as factual. And she said, I also posted this to my Twitter.
And my biological mom did not believe in corporal punishment, so never used any corporal punishment. The mom that adopted me used corporal punishment on me, just to make that clear.
Oh, so you were adopted. Okay.
So, seen it
So
firsthand.
what? So what? Do you
Using
know
a belt
what
on a
corporal
child like
punishment
that?
is?
That's not about trying to change behavior. That's about hurting a child, in my opinion. So I think it's important to point out Katie Proudfoot's misstatements. Chris Proudfoot had some misstatements of his own too, regarding that polygraph and other misstatements. But I'm more concerned with Chris about the capability of hurting Sebastian Rogers. And I think his track records indicate that he would be capable.
She thinks his track records. You know what, Jennifer? Oh.
I want to talk about what happened at the beginning of this case that some people may have forgotten about. To me,
What, like the father lying to
it's
everybody?
a glaring beacon. And that was the fact that law enforcement had a probable cause affidavit that an officer wrote to be able to search a dump.
A dump. It was a landfill. And guess what else? They said they just wanted to make sure to check check everything just to be sure. They're cranking up rhetoric. BHB can't talk. TT and Seth have enlisted the B team. This should be like the D team for douchery.
Now, for those of you not in law enforcement or who have never written a probable cause affidavit, a lot of people say, people want to be flippant. Attorneys, people who have never had to write a probable cause affidavit, they think, you just throw anything down. It's like the nonsense they say about indicting somebody. I'll leave that for another time. You don't just write a probable cause affidavit. You sit down as an agent and as an investigator, and you have to put together all the details you know from a case. You have to interface with other officers and agents. I posted all this on my Twitter.
I posted all this on my Twitter. It makes it legitimate. Are we done with her? Put a 1 in the chat. We're done with Jennifer. Anyway, so of course I make a comment. And I'm like, are you claiming that every child who experienced SA, their parents allowed it to happen? Every parent allowed it to happen? And do you know, one of the comments I received underneath asked me if I got my ring yet. If I got my ring yet. Like, that is the level these people are at. Yeah, everybody, Recycle center, trash near Seth's home also. Oh, very interesting, Snazzy. Huh. Very interesting. Look at all the ones. They're done with you, Jennifer. Give me one quick second. Okay, sorry about that. I muted. I'm so sorry. I thought I told you guys I had to get Nellie her food really quick. So this is what Jennifer Coffendorfer had to say. She got everything wrong pertaining to the ROs. She didn't even announce correctly who filed. She didn't announce that they were granted. She's just spewing her BS, if you ask me. Honestly. I unsubbed new account. I couldn't believe this. And me as well, Rebel Rose. It was so reckless, especially somebody of her stature to say these things and say them as absolutes when they're rumor based. Why didn't Jennifer Coffendorfer go and verify this neighbor? Isn't that what you would expect from somebody of her level? To actually verify this information? Do you know there's a reason why even crimes that had that neighbor on, good old Brooks, there's a reason why she won't even admit that she was wrong and she makes it into a mockery because she knows she was wrong? Unbelievable that this woman over here is saying all this with absolutes. Now, let me pull this up really quick. As you guys know, I'm a little behind on everything that took place. I'm behind on reporting to you all when it comes to Betty and her arrest and when it comes to, all the things, basically. All the things. Where's this at? I just couldn't believe her. I just could not believe her. So I think you've all saw by now, because a lot of people have been reporting on the things. I think you all saw by now that during the vigil, Tony Mathis told the woman standing there, put your arm on Seth. It was very awkward. It was very weird. The fact that he was directing her to do that was bizarre. You know what? Give me just 1 second. I think I want to show you guys this really quick, and then I'm going to pull up something different. I got a text message a few minutes ago. Somebody tell me they're going live, and I'm going to play
shortly. We got a decent crowd. We got our 10 people. So I'm going to turn this around, but I've got to do some other things. We're going to be doing prayer.
Oh, that's her sped up. She said we got our 10 people.
Started here shortly. We got a decent crowd. We got our 10 people. So I'm going to turn this around, but I've got to do some other things. We're going to.
Can I say thank you to whoever this woman is for actually wearing Sebastian's photo with 1-800-TBI find on it? Thank you for actually caring compared to this Karen who was wearing a dragon. A dragon? Do we all remember that Seth said he named Sebastian after a dragon, allegedly?
Be doing prayer. I hope you guys are all here. Our shirts.
Did anybody see Betty's postings the other day where she's making excuses to be able to say the name Sebastian? Let me pull that up for you. I could not believe that. You wouldn't believe what she did. All right, check this out. Literally Davis fan. Artist GW. Oh, check this out. Give me a break. Anderson Cooper's 2 children, all about Wyatt and Sebastian. Anderson Cooper's 2 children. Do you know why she's suddenly paying attention to Anderson Cooper's 2 children? Can anybody guess in the chat why she's doing that? Take a wild guess. For the name, for Sebastian, for the name. Because guess what Betty did the moment she was released on her bail? She went live behind a members only wall and she continued to say Sebastian's name. So now she's trying to play some type of game. She's thinking she's slick, and she's now going to make the excuse that when she says Sebastian, she's referring to Anderson Cooper's children. This is the lengths that she goes. And if this right here doesn't prove to you all that Betty absolutely deserves an RO, oh my goodness, does it ever? She is playing a game. She doesn't know when to stop. And she's an idiot. Does it look like they do look like they could be sisters, honestly. And one of the kids she posted passed away too. Rest in peace. She is horrible. Find Sebastian Hustet. Look at her. She's really trying to play a game here. She's really trying to play a game here. Rock of our family, Sebastian Corda. You're disgusting, Betty. You think the courts are going to take light of your mockery? She did. She did. She Googled famous people named Sebastian. She did. So she could play a little game here. Just a little game. Like people are going to see right through it.
I'm still just to tell these serious stuff. So when these YouTubers do this, they start just blindly accusing people and they start stalking people.
A little background here. This is literally Davis fam put up this video, and this gentleman here is good friends with Joe Petito. We all know the Joe Petito Foundation. We all followed the story of Gabby Petito. Rest in peace to Gabby. Such a horrific situation that could have been avoided. Domestic violence. Court could really hammer her. You know what, Kathy? They should. They should. Making a mockery this way.
And they start saying, I know better. I know better. Yes, grifters. Exactly. My cat's name is Karen. Grifters. This is the Grifter show. This is what it, because again, to point to what I was showing, well, I guess I got rid of it. Oh no, I didn't.
Hey, Sandra, it's good to
She's
see you
selling
again.
merchandise on her
Thank you for coming out.
page. Let's see here. Let's see her where's your, oh, and she's got yeah, here's her merch store,
Her merch.
which she sells. Yeah, you've got Bullhorn Betty. Wow, she's got mugs. She's got this. I need to really step it up. She's got like hundreds of products on here. Hold on, let me share this with you guys. This
And how many of them actually sell? Come on.
is wild.
I don't.
This is why it actually creeps me out to even like show this stuff, because I don't want to give anybody any airtime.
I can
But
never.
it is humorous. It's humorous because she's talking about the good nature of her. Oh, I'm an innocent person. Oh, I'm trying to help. It's all about Sebastian. Yada yada. No, it's not. You dumb.
Thank you, Scott. It's good to see
You
you.
selfish woman. It's all about you selling shit and selling your channel.
Oh, I want to point something out. Okay, thank you for reminding me, Peekaboo. Let me take my headphones off really quick. It's starting to hurt my head. She goes back to court in front of that judge. He will not be nice at all. You can't play in the court in judge's face like BHB has been doing and not feel the wrath of the courthouse. Well, that is exact. Oh, thank you so much, Dev. That is thank you, new kid. That is exactly why Betty was arrested. Now, hear me out here. Hey, Wah. Hear me out here. Betty came back and she stated one of the reasons she was arrested is because she threatened legal action. And of course, people's initial thought was, no way. No, you're lying, Betty. That's not what happened. But let me tell you, it could very well be what happened. Hey, Mystery. It could very well be what happened. And here is why. Little Mama wants you to put a 1 if you think Betty will run and hide, or a 2 if she will show up for court. After this RO was granted, Betty was stated that she's not allowed to mention the Proudfoot's names. She's not even allowed to mention Sebastian's name. Now, a lot of people keep screaming First Amendment right, blah, blah, blah. That's actually written in my RO against another creator as well. Because they are using the internet to put out their harassment and or the threats. So that is why they say, and it does not hinge on your First Amendment rights. The First Amendment protects you from the government. Okay, that's it. Anyway, she's not allowed to mention them, but let me break this down for you because I experienced the same exact thing. And it's been all documented and whatever. When Betty turns around and she says, because they were able to get this RO against her, she is going to go ahead and seek out legal action against them. That is still a threat. It is a threat of retaliation. It is still harassment. You are now using the idea of a court hearing, a court procedure, to further your harassment and your intimidation onto them. So not only are you not allowed to speak on them, but you're not allowed to harass or threaten. That is threatening legal action. Revenge. You're not allowed to do that. So she very well could have been arrested for saying that. She could be arrested for that. And I do believe they likely told her that was one of the reasons. That's one of the ways you at least broke the RO by doing that. Sandra Neal, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys have really been so sweet to me today. It means a lot. Thank you. I haven't been live in a few days. I think I'm going to hold a little memorial tonight for my son's trampoline. I wish I could get like a little trampoline cake made. I just want to play along with his dramatics. He's such a sweet kid, though. A lot of 1s popping up, some 2s. I think she's showing up to court. I do. I do think she is. Yeah, she broke the RO twice. 2 times. Well, what the crock, it was quite a few years old, so it had a very good bounce to it. But it got a hole in it, then it got another hole, and it became too dangerous. So RIP. If you look at my community post, Jace took it very hard. He was actually, I know like it was jokey and silly if he was being silly by putting that paper and all, but he was really upset about it. Elizabeth, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome. Welcome to the MFers, the Melon Felons. We are happy to have you here with us. Angel, every time she says Sebastian's name, and she continued to say his name. You can tell when she spoke with the oh, let me pull that up. When she spoke with the news organization, she was very careful. Very careful how she spoke, because she knew she wasn't allowed to mention his name. So people were upset with me about my my posts about what. Geez, I got to finish this first. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Look at this. Look at this crap.
I will today, Canvas. Thank you for being patient with me.
Socks, the whole thing. I mean, whatever.
They have those?
I'm not, I'm all for commerce, just like the next person, but you can't do that on the backs of people's tragedy, is my whole point. You can't be like, oh, let me just talk
He's
about
still
all
in
this
the
stuff. Let me just,
hospital.
it's one thing. Obviously, there's people who are commentators or Court TV that are offering, and I'm out here offering my unique perspective because I've been involved in these things and I'm trying to share my perspective with people. There's obviously lawyers who are law tubers who are sharing and talking about their experience based upon the, Melanie Little, for example, lawyer,
Betty should come out with her very own jailhouse experience story, right? I think that would be great. Come out and tell us about your 42 arrests. So here's the article that I think I think you're in here, Jody. I think it was you that thought I made this up. It was actually sent to me, but all right. I don't know what's going on. I'm on a tilted world. I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job. Okay. So it's right here. I did not make up this article. Seth said it. Where'd it go? Right here. Today, the FBI offered a $50,000 reward as an incentive, hoping somebody will come forward. It's the latest attempt to solve a case that has gone cold. The missing boy's father still holds hope he can be found. And of course, the Glare, who blessed us with his presence here today in chat, I'm actually blocked on his channel, commented he found the easy answer as to what this meant by Seth. To me, to those of us who have followed this from the beginning and have watched step by step as this unfolded, and the pedestal and the knock off the pedestal and all the things, we understood what this meant. We didn't really need somebody to break it down. So anyway, he says, I don't know what's going on, and I am on a tilted world. Investigators said he was last seen February 26th, 15-year-old child missing. I wish there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job. Again, no evidence at this time indicating criminal activity is involved. I don't understand though, because then what's with I don't know.
It's a 15-year-old missing child. He's my son.
That's it? That's the whole video?
It's a 15-year-old missing child. He's my son.
The FBI offering such a low reward? I have not, especially 6 months in. What do you guys think it means? Does anybody want to come up and share your thoughts on what you think this means? Seth was not there yesterday. Okay, so here's the other thing, Shaggy. I heard people saying this as well. People were saying because the bail was paid, and we heard it was by Tony, that meant that Tony is on the line if Betty runs, right? That's not necessarily true, because again, when I saw Mickey Mouse on the wall, my sister paid the bond for me, but I signed myself. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. You know why you thought he was younger, Scott? Because everybody made him appear younger. That's why. Because people speak of him as if he's a baby. Captain Napton. That is why you think of him as being younger. So, of course, Betty over here uses the cartoon photo of Sebastian as her thumbnail because the child's not still missing, right? But she's not even supposed to be speaking on or using Sebastian at all. Oh, Kylene, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. It's not supposed to be missing that. I mean, she's not supposed to be speaking on him at all. He's still missing. They should be using his real photo. But she uses that, and this is her event. You'll notice Seth Rogers is not at this event. Yeah, why is that little bit? Because I think that's the last time he spent actual significant time with Sebastian, in my opinion. The document she showed the attorney is not in Florida, where she is. Is that normal? I think it was maybe because the document she showed the attorney. What document? Well, she's definitely been served because she's been arrested. They served.
In just a moment.
Wow. You know what I did notice on the table? There, that they had not one, not two. I mean, two donation. Tony? Two donation buckets. Hey, voices. Put this right here in front of the police here, okay? Oh. Get yours before they're gone. Almost gone. There are only 24 left. August, we only do 4 pieces of this limited edition. Who put these on here? Listen, I think the shirt's adorable. I'm not going to lie. I think it's very, very cute. But I think when the child is still missing, it is very crucial that you use an actual photo for him. Who's getting the money? Oh, here's another thing. Have you guys seen all the comments that Seth is making towards Ellie? And let me pull up the stream I was telling you about. What's the other one look like? What do you mean? Let me get this out of here. Sonya, the one with the black hair? I don't know. I don't know what they look like. Where are you going, Army Vet? All right, let me pull this up really quick. Why'd I stop share? He knows I was live and gave us permission. Sharon, thank you so much towards the trampoline fund. Listen, here's the problem. I'll be honest. I would love to be able to get another trampoline. They are expensive, so that is part of the reason. But the other thing is, I don't think I have it in me to build another trampoline. I built that trampoline when I was a little bit younger. It was difficult to build. I don't know if I'm able to build another trampoline. I do really appreciate that, though, Sharon. That is really sweet of you. Uncle Taco. It just don't add up. But Venmo was under Sebastian's army. Not going directly to the motel. Why? Oh, because they were only supposed to receive a percentage. That's likely why. That's probably why. Are you the act? No, you can't be. No money needs to be collected. Can we talk about it really quick? So I did hear the lady Oh no, I did mental block. And also when his friends come over, I have a waiver that the parents have to sign for their friends to jump on the trampoline. Believe me, I protect myself with that. You know what? They may be able to at this age, Feisty Nana. They're easy to build till the last couple springs. Yeah, they were hard. The new trampolines are easy to put together. Are they? Oh man. Don't let him hear that. So, excuse me. I heard that lady that was arguing with Michaela's Mud Hut. She claimed she was arguing with Michaela's Mud Hut over she wanted to donate food. They didn't want to give her an address. She claims they were asking for her credit card. I don't know how much I believe all of that, and I'll tell you why. Oh, Kimberly, I wish. I checked her Facebook, and it was definitely her Facebook. I verified it was her Facebook, but I didn't see any of the videos that she was claiming. Now, I don't know if she has sent them to QB or not. I don't know what's going on there. But I do understand, because somebody pointed this out to me, that is a rescue themselves, a nonprofit, that usually their home is where everything takes place. So I can understand why Michaela, with this lady recording and not knowing who she is and knowing, the climate around this whole situation, I can understand why she did not feel comfortable listing or giving her address. I understand it. So I don't know how much I put value into that whole exchange that we heard of. Oh, he has a channel. All right, let's hear what JLR says. Seth Rogers snaps.
Now is, and I can say this as a statement of fact, Seth Rogers is not welcomed in Sumner County right now. No officials back him.
You hear that? And I'm telling you, excuse me. I don't know what's in my throat. If JLR saying, I can say this as facts, that he skips my loo. I did have one. That he is not welcome in Sumner County. If you just send me an email, I can hook you guys up. This is his new live. Yeah. That he is not welcome there, and none of the police back him up.
One thing I can tell you right now is, and I can say this as a statement of fact, Seth Rogers is not welcomed in Sumner County right now. No officials back him. He's pretty much on his own at this point. And I think it's a lot of it has to do with his own doing, or maybe.
Is that Michaela's, is that what Michaela says, Kelly J, that the dog started at 750? That's a lot when you're a rescue. 750. He posts all kinds of fake stuff to him and Magnolia say are sus to be. He was a Seth supporter, and then he quickly saw the red flags that we all saw. Yeah, 750. Oh, really? I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen, new account. Rescue, I volunteer with work, many rescues, but we will not work with Mutt Mattel due to her policies. Really, Feisty Nana? Tell us more. So you know her? So Tia Dash asked if there was a grievance fund for Jace's trampoline. I said he's taking candy in lieu of flowers. Thank you, Tia. Thank you. Feisty Nana, so you actually know of Michaela's Mutts. Wow. Okay.
Maybe it has something to do with, Sebastian itself.
750.
But things have dramatically changed.
Thank
and
you,
this Don Smith guy doesn't want anything to do with him. Won't host no events. Now, I know that Seth has been snapping at some of these people, demanding help and demanding that they, support him. Contacting people. I'm told he's contacted officials and trying to get events and things that, in Sumner County. And no one's signing on to this in Sumner County.
Wow.
No one is signing on to this right now. No one wants anything. No one wants to host an event being side by side in Sumner County with it.
Wow. Nobody in Sumner, no professional organizations want to be associated with him. That's insane, Christina.
And I think he's taking this frustration out on
good morning,
Pratt.
Christina. That's insane.
He spoke out again yesterday. He snapped back again, despite the FBI graciously putting out a $50,000 reward, partnering with the Sumner County Sheriffs, because Sumner County Sheriffs have also, put out that reward saying they partnered more or less with the partnered with the FBI. But Seth had said another statement about the situation.
Yep, he sure
did.
did.
It seems like Seth has no allies whatsoever anymore in Sumner County. Now he has support. He has a group, right? There's a few Facebook groups that support him, but it's a lot of people from not Sumner County. Just a few from Sumner County.
He is hot,
but not a lot at all. You remember Sumner County has
There's been so many shifty things, Shelly M. And my big question is, which I've gotten off course of, is who is causing these distractions? Now, listen, I know I played my part in it. Okay. I played my part in it. I want to take a different approach. Quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing all about Betty because I think Betty wants it to be all about Betty. There's something wrong when Molly Golightly comes back and quickly she went from having under 100 in her chat to over 800 speaking about Betty. It's gotten to a point where it's redundant, and I don't ever want to be the reason Betty can fully and honestly claim that she is being harassed or stalked. Because she did. She was. She at that event, she had every right to say what she said, and I don't like it. Is he going to send the FBI cease and desist, right, B? But I have a feeling somebody's causing these distractions, and who is it? Is it Seth? Is it the Proudfoots? Is it Seth and the Proudfoots? For me, it seems to be all related around Seth Rogers, his team of people. His team of people seem to be the ones that are constantly putting distractions. I'm tired of people like Jennifer Coffindoffer focusing on the very few times Chris Proudfoot has spoken and the rumors of it all, and not even looking into Seth Rogers one bit. There's something bizarre when it comes to Seth, and I don't know what it is. The fact that people think Katie, Chris, and the Bowersox filing for protection orders, restraining orders, is to silence Betty because she's getting close to the answers, sitting all the way in her bed. She's getting close to the answers. But yet, a few months back, when there was still a lot more hope, there was still a lot more search efforts going on, Seth Rogers sends out over 6 cease and desists, and which he includes in it that they are no longer allowed to speak on Sebastian Rogers' disappearance and or search efforts. Who's trying to silence who? None of us. JLR, not myself. QB, nobody. None of us have received ROs. None of the people that Seth sent cease and desist to have received ROs. Which one do you think's worse? A cease and desist saying you're not allowed to speak on Sebastian at all, or protection of order against one person? I say the 6 on the 1 is worse, but let's focus on the restraining order.
I don't know the population of Sumner County. I don't know what the
unbelievable.
I should have done this. I wanted to do this.
Me
Sumner
too,
County,
Sandra, and I don't know what it is.
I just want to say the Sumner County, Tennessee.
I agree with you, Richard. Now, I'm not saying that the Proudfoots haven't been bizarre.
They have. They had a Sumner County population is 203,000. So 200,000 are in Sumner County.
200,000.
Yesterday there was a rally. I'm going to call it a protest.
It was a protest.
The media put it as a rally, right?
I see.
But there was a protest at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for to clear.
You think an RO is far worse than sending out 6 cease and desist to actual people that were boots on the ground? I don't mean worse. Okay, an RO is worse. I apologize. I should have phrased it differently. What I'm saying is, which one do you think is trying to silence somebody from getting to the truth? The 6 cease and desist that were sent to residents of Tennessee, some of which were qualified and actual professionals, or the RO against Betty?
Clear Seth's name at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Out of everyone in the county, 200,000 people in the county, 15 showed up.
Right, were
15
they close?
showed up.
That's my point.
And I'm told that out of the 15 that showed up, like 2/3 of them aren't even from Sumner County. So the issue is Seth is aligned with a lot of outsiders. So because Seth is he's not from Sumner County. He's from
this is
I guess it's called Montgomery County.
I agree
right?
with you,
It's
David.
Montgomery County, which is an hour outside Sumner County. So he's not even from there. He's not even from Sumner County.
No,
and
not
he
even from.
brought in an outsider, right? He brought in this guy.
He was took to the camp.
We all know about
Memphis.
this guy. We
did
a
from
whole
there
dossier
or one
and
of the Mason stuff
report
show.
on him and about, you know, his checkered past and everything about him the other day, right? All the 25 lawsuits.
I'll be honest. You know what I think? I think that he was lured out. I think it was an internet predator. But I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised we find something else out. I think Wade Wilson is facing his fate today. He is so cute. I love that new photo. I don't know why. I mean, I do get why there's not many updated ones. Lord via Switch. You think so? Seth has united weirdos from all over the country. They are weird. They are weird. The C&D says a lot, especially given to who they were given to.
Lawsuits filed against them, sued by a church, a school, to do with it. So that's really the situation.
News. The FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement. I wish there were agencies that were emotionally invested to do their jobs. Now, I have a personal, you know, I'm thinking, what? You're not gracious, grateful.
Right.
Where's the gratitude? You know, people are offering $50,000 reward and you're still going at the local.
He's still going at them because nothing has been good enough because it's a Seth show. I'm sorry. I think there's a reason. I think there's an absolute reason why Seth Rogers is doing everything he's doing. You don't see Katie, even in that article, they said Katie and Chris did not want to comment. Could be lured out by online pred. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually comforted by the fact that Ellie is quiet. So many sketchy people involved. So many. Tony's a dingleberry. The JLR guy. Of course, BHB. All right, so here's my thing. Seth made a post the other day, right? I think most of you seen it. If you haven't, let me pull it up. So Seth Rogers makes his post. And it's weird. It's a weird post, right? In my opinion. It isn't about the lack of humanity. It is about evil versus good. Major Tim, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, informed me today, so this was the day before Betty's little protest, when I called him about Sebastian, that they have information on the case, but they don't feel like sharing it with me today. He said they will share that information tomorrow. That is the $50,000, up to $50,000 reward they placed. That is what they were. That's the update they had. So when Betty's out here thinking that her little stupid protest is the reason for that $50,000, she's an idiot, an absolute idiot. The only thing that has ever come from you standing outside protesting is a new law in Florida. That's it. That's all. Thank you, Pearls Girl. Yeah, please do hit the thumbs up if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. He goes on to say, why does my son have to wait until tomorrow? Your son doesn't have to wait until tomorrow. You do. He is important to me every day. Nobody said he's less important because they're making you wait till tomorrow. Stop with the guilt tripping. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Then why weren't you lined up outside of the protest of your friends, waiting or knocking or going in and asking what the update is? You weren't even there to find out. When will they going to remember that they are supposed to protect and serve the people and stop serving themselves? When will they going to remember? When will they going to remember? You know, a lot of people keep saying the Proudfoots have ties to LE. The Proudfoots have ties to LE. Seth Rogers here is self-proclaimed LE. What more ties can one get? If we found out that Chris Proudfoot was self-proclaimed LE, Don't you think the internet would be rampant with speculation? But we do know that Seth calls himself LE. When will they going to remember that they are supposed to protect and serve the people and stop serving themselves? How are they serving themselves? How is this serving themselves? You know why they wouldn't tell Seth Rogers in advance? Because of this post right here. They can't trust the man to be quiet. It feels very manipulative. No comments on Betty, no other postings, nothing about he didn't even advertise the protest, the make Seth not a suspect because that's going to work. He did call Craddock a douchebag. What person do you know that allegedly works in law enforcement? He's a deputy, right? Sits there and puts down his brothers in blue. I understand if he's upset because he doesn't have answers. I totally get that. But lashing out publicly at the police, that's not going to help. And I feel like Seth does not want to help. I feel like Seth wants to keep the police at bay because where is his victimhood if the police clear him? Where is his victimhood if the police start giving him daily updates? Don't forget, when it came to the ROs, a detective was there in the courtroom as a witness for the Proudfoots. And yet people still think they're the ones that are guilty? Do you think a detective would ever go in as a witness on behalf, willingly, of the Proudfoots if they believe that they were guilty for what happened to Sebastian? I think they've done a fantastic job. I think the footwork they did the morning of that Sebastian was reported missing and thereafter was so well done. These people went around door to door knocking. They went around, they spoke to every single neighbor they could. They brought out all the dogs. They brought in extra agencies. They allowed residents to help in searches. They did everything they could. Pulled out every single resource they had. And it still was not good enough for Seth Rogers. Seth Rogers was kicked off the command base that they had set up when they orchestrated these searches because he kept looking at the documents he wasn't allowed to look at. Why would he be doing that? We keep hearing about Seth searching. We keep hearing Seth say he's going to do a search next week. It's always next week. But we fairly rarely ever see it. We get photo ops, courtesy of Tony Mathis. It just, like I said, SS, I can understand him being upset because there's no real answers. I get that. I truly understand that frustration that must be. But he claims that he is law enforcement. He knows more than anybody. As much as I'm sure he wants it to because it is his child, as much as I'm sure he wants everything else that the law enforcement is looking at, doing all the policing they do every day to stop, and the sole focus to be Sebastian. But we're talking 6 months down, 6 months in, and they still have a detective assigned solely to this case. They just came out with the FBI and offered a $50,000 reward. Do you know how many other missing children's families would love this? Would be grateful and thankful for it? Would be on the news thanking the FBI for it? I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. What he wants to know what Ali knows, and not for his son's sake, but for his. It feels that way. It does. Do you know what I just seen the other day? Let me send this to myself. And I have to do an entire video on just this alone. In my area of Philadelphia. Oh. All right, hold on. They're making me do all these, jump through all these hoops. Oh, come on. Let me see if I can pull it up this way because this is just doing too many hoops here. Check this out. And you know what? You don't hear much about it. I hate when these places try to make you sign up. There are 10 kids from Philadelphia that recently went missing in July to the beginning of August. 10 kids randomly disappeared. These kids, some as young as 11 years old, have all gone missing since the middle of July. Since the middle of July. 10 kids are missing from my area. And you're not hearing it on the news. This article came out a couple weeks back, and I'm just now seeing it. We have a 13-year-old. July 12th. 13 years old. We have a 14-year-old. July 15th. Here we have a 15-year-old. July 12th. 16-year-old. July 29th. 14 years old. July 26th. 15 years old. July 28th. This one doesn't have her age, but August 3rd. Oh, 12 years old. 12 years old. I'll be making a video on this with their names and everything. 15 years old. Also August 3rd. $11 years old. 11 years old. 12 years old. August 10th. Where are these kids at? Why isn't this making headlines? Why isn't this all over the news? 10 kids go missing from the middle of July to early August in the same damn city. All around the same age. It's more than heartbreaking, Richard. It's terrifying. What is happening to our kids? I think it goes deeper than we even know. It is happening everywhere, but this is an alarming amount of young children all around the same ages that have disappeared around the same time frame, and it's not even breaking news. I agree with you, little Lulu. I think we all know why. Sounds like a ring, doesn't it? In Utah, 148 missing children. I'm sure we have a lot more in Pennsylvania, but for this to be just a city, wow, a little bit. There is a missing girl at time, was 12 years old, missing from Tallahassee, Florida, since June 13th of 2023, and dad is or was a corrections officer. And I guarantee they looked into the father and his connections. Hey, LA. It is the Krista. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put together a video of those 10 children. I'm going to try to map together to see how close they all are and what's going on here. But that deserves attention. And I guarantee their parents would give anything to have so much media attention as Seth Rogers and the Proudfoots have received with Sebastian's disappearance, and be beyond grateful for a $50K reward. And instead, you have Seth Rogers saying he just wishes the police would be more emotionally invested. Do you know what that would do to our police if they became so emotionally invested in every single case they had? Ugh. Listen, you guys, I appreciate you all being here with me this morning. I've missed you all so much. I'm going to make a poll about hours and scheduling, see what you all think, see what we can work out. I appreciate all the new members today. My One Red Rose friend coming in with the 25 months. Girl, thank you so much, One Red Rose. Thank you to all the new members and welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the super chats. Jess, look up the Blue campaign on the Department of Homeland Security's website. They are warning parents of online communities and trafficking. The Blue camp. Oh, thank you so much, Robin. Thank you so much. Blue Campaign is a national public awareness campaign designed to educate the public, law enforcement, and other industry partners to recognize the indicators of human trafficking and how to appropriately respond to possible cases. Oh, why won't it let me do that? Oh, it won't let me get it. Wow. I think we should all read up on this, especially as parents. Whoa, I don't know why that's such a long URL. It might not even post. Oh, it didn't. Thank you, Bruin Hell. Jill had her children back home for a little bit. If they have blonde hair and blue eyes, they'll get attention. Oh, let's talk about it really quick. A lot of you's left, but that's okay. Those of you who remained. So I seen somebody did a stream the other day stating that given what the Proudfoots and the Bowerstocks have been able to do, they're stating that Don Wells and Candace Wells now plan on taking out restraining orders on Betty, Molly, JLR. Give me 1 second. I have to stop this water from dripping. Okay, sorry about that. What are your thoughts on that? Because I left a comment. I tried to leave a comment on the post and in the stream that, unfortunately, I think the time frame may have... I don't think they'd be very successful at this point and at this time with an RO because of the time difference of the events to now. I do think, if anything, they would be possibly successful as civil harassment suits. The time has passed, right? Mr. Tomato Head's been over 2 years, right? I don't think they would be successful, respectfully, because of course I want them to be, successful, but I don't think they would be. Not necessarily in this order. Well, that's scary. What's this? Follow the leader? I don't think they'll have luck. I don't either. Hey, Goody Two Shoes. What do you guys think? You put a 1 in the chat if you think they'd be successful. Put a 2 if you think it wouldn't go through. Not by these people. They're not, Feisty Nana. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, SS. I don't think ROs would work, but there is certainly steps they could take. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the time has just surpassed. 2 years ago when it was in this prime and in this mess, and they were really, because they were horribly mistreated. They were stalked, they were harassed, their jobs were lost, a lot of things. But I think too much time has passed. I often say people tend to forget that harassment is grounds for an RO. It is, at least in my state, it is. Yes, he did tell me that as well, Cass Stewart. And apparently he's facing legal. What was I saying? Oh, harassment is means, but the sooner you act, the better. You know what I mean? And the harassment has died down big time. So I don't know. I wish them well, but I don't know. I don't think they'd be very successful. Well, yeah, still mention them is a lot different than, stalk and harass and all of that. She mentioned them with threatening tones, or is it, you know what I mean? Christina, your child is missing? Do you want to send me an email with his information? And I'm assuming I shouldn't have said he, with their information, and I can bring attention to it if you like. I'm so sorry to read that. The most job. Colleen C., thank you so much for your PayPal. You're so sweet. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do not. But because those videos are still up and being played, the harassment can still be ongoing. It's not that easy. I mean, yes, as far as civil harassment suit goes, absolutely, Captain Avi. But as far as an RO goes, I don't think it would be successful for them. I just don't. He's now 27. I'm so sorry. I saw that, Lovey. I feel like that church groomed that whole family. I feel like a Canadian woman did as well. There are laws already in place. Victim advocates usually take care of that. You're right. PG, now I could see them going after PG. She hasn't shut up. I could see that. But she wasn't even named as one of the people. Here in California, 66,705 went missing in 2023. There's something going on with our children, man. It's not okay. It is not okay. It is terrifying. Do you really, Darcy? Well, I mean, either way, I support them in their efforts. I just don't know. In Tennessee, you only have 6 months from the day the words were spoken to file defamation. Defamation is so damn hard that I think civil harassment would be the way to go. I don't know what the laws are like in Tennessee pertaining to that, but I do know that was the recommendation I was given. It is, Heather. It is. How you been, Trevor Lee? Cass Stewart, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet today. Thank you. No, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Not just from her, some of her minions. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. I don't doubt behind the scenes hasn't happened. Right. I don't know, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I still never got Jay's back to school shoes and the actual notebook BS stuff. So we got some shopping to do, and then I got to get on an actual memorial for trampoline and entertain. Come back and rest her for talking about Sebastian at the protest. Sorry, late. I believe they could, Cheech Brown. I believe they could. I think what they're going to do, though, to be honest, I know from personal experience, a lot of times the police will accumulate everything. You basically keep track of everything going on. So basically the Proudfoots can write down on this date, Betty said X, Y, and Z at this time, and they can either have it as video evidence or whatever it may be. And they hand that all over and they let it accumulate a bit, just enough to be a slam dunk violation. Kate the Great. It's good day. Ernie Shells off the streets. Yeah, we got Ernie Shells arrested. Bullhorn Betty arrested. Oh, listen, before we wrap it up, can we leave some prayers in the chat for Dolly and PJ? I know Obviously, Dolly was very shaken up by the whole situation, but as was PJ. I can't imagine how terrifying that was to go from seemingly okay, on the vacation, on the live streams, and the next thing you know, you have that heart attack, and you wake up, you're being shocked, you're on it. I couldn't even fathom. It is such an eye opener of how quickly life can change. So if you wouldn't mind, like them or not, please put some prayers, some well thoughts. It could be anybody at any given time. Crying about time slash again, Savage just grow old great. No, it wasn't Savage. Actually, it was me. I wasn't even crying about it though. But I mean, time slash kind of are a thing, guys. I mean, it's a little it's like a contract creator to creator, right? It's a respect thing. What was I about to say before that though? Oh, I seen a certain someone basically take my post almost verbatim. That cracked me up. So fake. When you gotta write things because you've seen somebody else did and you just can't stand, you know what I mean? Like, when it's not coming from your heart, spare it. You don't think people can see right through that stuff? You know what I mean? It is, SS. It is. Especially when there's, you share a large subscriber base. It is. Didn't know until 2 days later. Scary. I bet it is terrifying. To be so young, too. The universe shifted. You're really sweet, SS. But I don't expect that by any means. I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. Right, Mr. B. I mean, it is. It's hard. A lot of people, a lot of creators stay on for really long times. Everyone hates everyone until something happens to one of them and they unite. That's the way it should be, Nick Hummer. That's the way it should be. I don't care if you're a fan of Dolly or not. He's a human being. It could be you. It could be me. It could be our loved ones. Have some respect, man. That's it. It's common decency. It's courtesy. I can't imagine. I mean, they haven't done anything personal to even my worst enemy. When they lost a loved one, I gave my condolences. You don't, YouTube's YouTube, man. I hate when it gets to the point where we're like wishing death on people. That's sick. Sick. Yeah. I bet he will. Schedules, and we have several we do support, but then some stay on. It's hard a little bit. I get it. That's why I'm going to try to work around it, see what I can do. I just wish I would have done it all summer. I could have slept in. Now my ass has to be up in the morning. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if I see that, and I do. I respect every creator I know right now that is covering, for the most part, not every, because there's one I don't, that is covering Sebastian and or Betty. I have utmost respect for. And I don't want to step on their toes. I'm sure they don't want to step on my toes. I don't want any hidden build-up resentments because that happens. And then we see it explode all over and you subs take the brunt of it. So I just rather go ahead and find out a schedule that works for me, but also works for all of you. That's all. And I'm not speaking about one particular creator. There's actually several people that are going live earlier in earlier streams. So it's not just one. It's quite a few. And you saw that, Colleen? She did copy, man. Courtney, good morning. So I just want to make sure that, I'm not putting you all in an awkward position. I'm not putting myself in an awkward position. I'm not putting other creators. And we just make it work, make it work. Thank you, Feisty Nana. Thank you, Captain Avi. So I'll put up a poll, see what works for everybody. I do appreciate you all. Oh, thank you, Heather. You guys are awesome. Music City Mom, exactly. So we have to do it. I do that often too. Right, JD. That's why we follow them. We respect them. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys are awesome. Thank you again. Again, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for your insight and participation here today. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Keto. Oh, and also if you have it, make sure you're still subscribed. I know if you're commenting, you are, But YouTube keeps unsubscribing people. I caught myself unsubscribed to channels I visit often. I couldn't believe it. Thank you, Scott. I want to bring the focus back where it needs to be, which is Sebastian. I think Betty wanted this, man. There's no doubt in my mind. I've been telling you guys this for the past, since the ROs were first filed, that Betty wants to be arrested at the event so she can be a martyr. And unfortunately, we all fed it. We all fed right into it. I just, that was a day of streams, man. I'll tell you, some people were live for damn near 10 hours. Some people were live for 9 hours. All day long, there was a stream to be seen of celebration. And listen, I completely understand why QB and Jay celebrated Betty's arrest, because she has personally done some of the most despicable things to them. I would have celebrated too. I don't have any personal, dealings with Betty, but they sure do. As for Molly, the whole like not even knowing Sebastian's last name and trying to, it's getting old at this point. I don't believe she's as unknowing as she's coming off as unknowing. I believe she knows more than she's letting on. I think it's kind of an act at this point. I was hoping I saw a change in Molly. I'm not too sure I do. I really enjoy, she's entertaining though. She's very entertaining. I just kind of see, the act taking place a little bit. But, don't ignore me what I say. Camp stream. Oh, the campfire stream. I'm headed back. That's why I got to get him out shopping, get what we need, and then I can head back down. She is very entertaining. SS. Justice Project made a post warning families about BHB. The AR Justice Project? What is that? Let me check that out. Oh, let me see this. I keep chasing you all away by saying goodbye. Andrea, the controversial YouTuber known as Bullhorn Betty, has been arrested and jailed in Montgomery County, Tennessee. She was arrested after violating a temporary restraining order granted against her. It wasn't temporary. Individual she has tormented and harassed in regards to the missing case of Sebastian Rogers. According to the Arkansas Justice Project, a warrant was out for her arrest in Sumner County, Tennessee, and she attended a vigil Saturday night for Sebastian Rogers' Clarksville, leading to her arrest. Here's her mugshot. No way, she's 165. She claimed in her filing that Bullhorn Betty has been stalking and harassing her and her family, alleging that they have been harming Rogers before he disappeared. What? Oh, alleging that they had been harming. Okay. She threatens us and posts live while driving by our home. It's true. She is dangerous and is threatening my and my family's safety and telling her followers to help her do the same. True. In her response, Bullhorn Betty denied any charges of harassment. Driving on public property. Wait, driving on public property on public roads with a camera hanging out. There's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. Betty's two favorite words, lawful and legally. She claims she's in Florida and has done nothing to harm the Rogers. I've never laid eyes on this woman in the flesh. I've never reached out to her by phone, email, or text messages. I've never even responded to any of her Facebook posts. I haven't talked to the lady. You know what I found interesting? Did anybody else hear JLR say that Seth Rogers gave out all of the Proudfoot and Bowersock's contact information so that people could harass them? Who has gained notoriety for her channel covering issues of missing persons, ostensibly advocates for missing people and raises money to help in their case, but she has gained notoriety for being an attention seeker, uses these cases to build her following and make money. Damn. In more than one instance, families of missing persons or people close to them have sought out restraining orders against her, and her violation of one of these led to her arrest. What she does is not advocacy. It's monetizing a victim family's trauma. She claims to be fundraising for searches, but we don't know of a single family or law enforcement who has expressed receiving money. She has been largely antagonistic to many people in the missing person professional community, including well-known investigators, private investigators who work pro bono for families. She sure has. In our opinion, she is largely viewed as someone who harms missing person cases, and the attention she brings to a case is focused on herself. There is a lengthy history of criminal no contact orders of protection from victim families. Wow. Betty, that's what they think of you. Wow. Very interesting. Hey, Kenna B. What do you guys think of that? I'm glad somebody finally wrote the article the way it needs to be. Because she really is. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I think JLR just ended a stream. I think the Hive is up and operating. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and get my day started. Thank you for all being here as I first woke up. Again, appreciate you all. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. Let's end it out where it belongs. And I will hopefully see you all back here tomorrow morning. Keep an eye out for my poll and make sure you vote, please. I'd appreciate some insight on what will work best. On February 26, 2024, an Amber Alert went out for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian is white, 5'5", 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen wearing a black long-sleeve shirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. He has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have seen Sebastian or have information regarding his whereabouts, please contact the Sumner County Emergency Center or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Let's take this moment to pray for Sebastian's safe return.